Ray McLeod is back for the Butker boot. And now words spoken for the first time ever. As recently as maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago, no one would thought it would ever be possible that we'd see a Super Bowl in Las Vegas. But what a magnificent host city it has been. And now Butker and the Chiefs are ready to get us underway. And yes, the first Super Bowl in Las Vegas. Officially underway. And through the back of the end zone. And bring out Brock Purdy. At last year's draft, which was right here in Vegas, it was last call at the end of the 7th round, and the 49ers called his name. The lowest rated or lowest drafted quarterback to ever start a Super Bowl. There have been a couple of undrafted quarterbacks who got a start, Jake Delhomme, Kurt Warner, but here we go, Purdy and the 49ers. Put the nerves aside and play for the Lombardi Trophy. Here we go. Open with a handoff to the NFL's Offensive Player of the Year, and McCaffrey's got 6.
Well, there he is, Mr. Irrelevant. Didn't expect him this soon to be starting in a Super Bowl, and like I talked about, this is the biggest moment of his athletic career, and maybe for some people you'll ever have. But he's got 2 mental hurdles today, Jim. One is the nerves of playing in the Super Bowl. The second is the mystique of Pacheco Mahomes. You've got to have that inner belief that you can beat him on this stage. He's created that mystique and aura, but Purdy, he might not even know how big it is.
They fake it to McCaffrey. On the rollout, he has got his man. It's Juszczyk with a hurdle out near the 50.
No team does as good a job of layering their concepts, but you're going to see Juszczyk come all the way down and sell the run and then hurdle at the end to start a Super Bowl the right way. This is a challenge for the Chiefs because that's a fullback. You don't see them play a ton in the National Football League. Well, you do when you go against the 49ers. They use it more than anyone.
18 for Juszczyk. The 49ers at the 49-yard line after 2 snaps. Purdy given time. Across the middle, he's got McCaffrey for another first down. Good start here by the 49ers. Everyone all week wondering what Spags, Coach Steve Spagnuolo, and that defense would be able to do against this dynamic offense.
He's one of the best big game coordinators of all time. He took down Brady in the 18-0 season, one of the greatest offenses ever. He's done it over and over again in his run here while they're trying to create this dynasty. Today is another incredible challenge. You've got 4 first-team All-Pro on this offense, and you've got to figure out who you're going to take away and how to do it. He's going to come after him today at some point, Jim.
Just outside the 40. Up ahead they go. And there's room for McCaffrey backing his way for another first down. He took Mike Edwards with him.
All the misdirection. Kyle Shanahan, one of the great play callers in the league. I want you to go ahead and look at the right guard right behind Purdy here. He's going to come flying across, and McCaffrey does as good a job, Jim, at finding a hole. There was no hole really there, but he takes the angles. When we talk to Spagnuolo, he finds an angle, his patience, and that's what makes him so dynamic.
McCaffrey's touched it on 3 of the first 4 plays. All for good yardage. They go back to him again. Ball is on the ground. The ball is out. Karlaftis is there for Kansas City. The first signal is a Chief recovery.
Well, the ball's definitely out. And Karlaftis does come up with it after a great start by San Francisco. These games.
An early mistake here at Allegiant Stadium. Just the 3rd fumble lost this year by McCaffrey and nearly 400 touches regular and post. And it was a little double team here. Pinnell and then Chanel comes in to take it out.
And that's part of this game today, Jim, is handling your nerves. Some of that stuff, you expect these guys to just be the same guy, but early in these games, you have to handle that kind of just extra, your blood's boiling, everything. It's just handle it the right way.
Here's a handoff for the Chiefs' first snap, and he is going to be taken back for a loss. Hargrave and Bosa were on him. Burks also in a loss of 3 as Patrick Mahomes over the last 2 postseasons. Perfect record, 11 touchdowns, no picks, and they've been brilliant in the postseason, going back now beyond last year on their first possession of the game in the playoffs.
Makes everyone calm down, allows Andy Reid to stick with the run when you get a lead. San Francisco has to get off to a good start today.
Quick pass to Kelsey in traffic, knocked down after just a gain of 1. And it was Greenlaw who was there. Chase Young added to it. And here is the Kansas City offense. Allegretti starts at left guard. Tooney had to go down to IR after a pectoral injury. Watch out for Rashee Rice, who's been coming on with every game. The rookie, big part of this late surge by Kansas City during the season and post. They've got Jerick McKinnon in the game, just activated. Former 49er. Here's a 3rd and 12. Mahomes dancing around, finds McKinnon. And he's going to be hammered by Greenlaw again, and Fred Warner keeping about 4 yards short of the sticks. Well, that's a gain of 8. The Chiefs had scored on their first possession in 8 straight postseason games, but not today.
This is the key for the Niners. Watch this pocket right here. You don't want him to get outside. As soon as he starts to go, you got to bring him back in. Outstanding job by Bosa and having the rush lane integrity. This is the last game the Chiefs lost. It was against the Raiders, and that's what they did. They didn't allow him to escape and create the big play.
Tommy Townsend to punt. A lot of hang time here. Fair catch signal. Having to run after it is McLeod after a 43-yard boot. Super Bowl 58 on CBS Sports is sponsored by Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Only in theaters May 10th. PepsiCo, Super Bowls taste better with your favorite chips and sips. And by Apartments.com, the place to find a place. Yes, they met 4 years ago, these two teams in Miami, and the Chiefs put up 21 points in the fourth quarter to win Super Bowl 54. Coming up, the State Farm halftime report with JB and all the crew. That'll be coming up at the intermission with a special performance by Usher, of course. And during the break, look who came out to be introduced. The great Joe Montana.
Yeah. 11 touchdowns, 0 interceptions in his Super Bowls. No one played a cleaner game and came up bigger in the biggest moments. It's like him and Brady and everyone else.
4-0 in the Super Bowl, 3-time MVP. As Purdy goes across the middle, Ayuk tackled down by Reed at about the 42-yard line.
This is the challenge I talk about, the layering of concepts. You're going to look at the motion come across, but Ayuk's going to be right here. But it's really about getting behind the defender inside. Purdy uses that play action fake, and everyone gets movement up front. And this is what makes this Niner team so dangerous, Jim. You don't know if that's a run, a pass, a reverse. They've got it all.
On first down, they get Debo into the game. But not for much. He's backed up by a yard or two. Nick Bolton, the first to get there. And Karlaftis, who had the fumble recovery, comes in to finish him off. Loss of 2.
Great job by Shenault to extend out, basically set the edge. Both these teams want to get on the perimeter. The Niners did a good job running downhill. I think they're going to have a chance to run it right up the middle on Kansas City. The team speed of Kansas City exceptional when you try and go wide.
Movement on the left side. Trent Williams.
Ball start. Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Back him up 5 with Trent Williams. The career timeline for Brock Purdy. Well, we know all about the last pick coming out of Iowa State. His first ever pass attempt was in a game against Kansas City. Then last year in the NFC title game had that horrific elbow injury, but was able to come back. Put up a 14-4 record this year for the NFC champions. And led the league in quarterback rating. 2nd and 17. being chased. Plants the feet. Flag down. Caught. Kittle. First down, depending on the flag.
This play's going to come back, as you saw the hold, but this shows you his spatial awareness.
Holding. Offense number 71. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
So Trent Williams, the first-team All-Pro left tackle, has been flagged on these last 2 occasions.
It's on your left side of your screen right there. The hold right at the moment that Purdy's starting to get outside the pocket, but 2 plays that are not normal for the first-team All-Pro, who's had an incredible career looking for his first Super Bowl. But to me, Purdy, you saw how he found that guy? He's got those traits, that's instincts, and those are risky throws, but not to him. He gets through stuff very quickly. Trent
Williams, who came into the league as the first draft pick in Washington by Kyle's father, Mike Shanahan. 2nd and 27. McCaffrey was lined up wide, and he follows his blockers out to about the 33.
I mean, just the unique gifts that he has to get wiggle and get into small spaces, and that burst right away. I mean, he's dynamic. He runs with great leverage. If you have a little angle that's off or a little mistake in how you fit, he takes advantage of it. You saw that burst. I thought that was going to be 3 yards there.
You talked about Kyle Shanahan and his father trying to become the first father-son combo to win a Super Bowl. His dad won 2 back-to-back. In fact, he went back in 97, 98. McCaffrey's father won 3 Super Bowls, so they have their own passing down through the generation story. Here's a 3rd and 20. Go underneath with Debo. He can slip through tackles with the best of them. And look at all the red hats around him. They'll keep them short of what they needed. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, but that's really smart by Kyle Shanahan. We know both these coaches are so creative, so innovative, but truly let him calm down and get into the game. That was an easy one to try and have 2 plays that were going to be like, let's get it all back, right? You're nervous. You feel like, darn it, we should be scoring. Just make it simple. Punt the ball. Your defense played great on the first possession.
Yeah, and Purdy's completed his first 5 throws in this game.
Screens, little stuff, right? Bootlegs. They haven't put any real pressure on him. He had a great throw to Ayuk over the middle.
Wisnowski in the punt with another flag out.
Ooh, if this is on.
False start. Offense number 53. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Bill Vinovich was also the referee when these 2 met in Super Bowl 54.
Yeah, and we talked to Kyle Shanahan. The one area, coaches, as you go into a week, you tell your team, all right, these referees call this many penalties. Like certain crews call more penalties about, holding this crew, not as much.
The punter from Perth, Australia, slams it back to the 7-yard line. And Richie James, it's spun around and tackled down by Chris Conley. 54-yard punt. All right, second series coming up for Mahomes and company. Failed to pick up a first initial possession. And they're pinned back at the 11. Pacheco trying to get a good drive starter, and he does. He's got a first down. Running angry as he has made quite a reputation for himself.
Yeah, Allegretti pulls on this, and it's a really good start to the drive. Instead of just running an inside zone, you're going to pull a guard. And this really hurt San Francisco the last 2 games. They did not do a good job on these outside pin and pull type plays, and right there was just a normal pull.
On first down, trouble and a sack. That's Chase Young, who got to him first. They traded for him back on November 1st from Washington.
This is an outstanding job by Chase Young. He got called out. This whole defense did. It was unacceptable and embarrassing by Steve Wilkes for their effort and performance, but they got through that game. So when a coach does that, then you can find very quickly you're going to get the best effort out of the team, and it's the Super Bowl. That's a huge sign if he's able to do that, Jim.
Boy, he slipped right past the left tackle, Donovan Smith.
Knocked his hands right down. Perfect technique.
2nd and 14. Over to Rice. And again, they're on him. It's Warner.
Look at him fly around. Fred Warner, as good a linebacker as there is in the National Football League. And this team right now is flying around. You saw it on the first possession the same way, their instincts. And Kansas City exposed San Francisco in last year's game on those type of screens, jet sweeps, things to get into that area. Now they got them backed up.
Fred Warner, they'll tell you around this team that he's the pulse of the team, not just the defense. And he's already got a couple of big tackles. He stopped them on third down the last time they had it. Here's a 3rd and 15. On the run. And he tucks it under as Gregory was coming from behind and looking for the strip.
This is the effort you're talking about, the second, third level. There's no loafing. You're going to go up the field, and Randy Gregory comes flying back after working up the wide shoulder, and this is going to be, I'm telling you, they're controlling the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. San Francisco self-inflicted wounds on offense. Otherwise, they'd be up 10 points right now.
Second punt for Townsend. First one traveled 43 yards. Now this is a big punt as McLeod is just hammered down right away by Williams.
Huge special team.
Well, they just introduced the next Hall of Fame class that will be inducted in Canton in August. Steve McMichael's wife out there on the field with them. Look at this distinguished group. Love the class. Now, if they just give Brent Musburger the Pete Rozelle Award, Hall of Fame worthy if there ever was anyone, has contributed to the growth of the NFL, popularized the league with the greatest studio show. You might have seen it earlier today. You Are Looking Live with Brent. The cast. It was a great special. Brent, iconic broadcaster. Let's get him the camera. From the 17, here is McCaffrey. Slammed down, but a flag again. The flags just cost him dearly on their last possession.
It might be lined up offside, though, on this one. Lined up in the neutral zone, and you're right. San Francisco, if they don't turn the ball over with the fumble and then 2 penalties, they're moving it.
Offside. Defense number 94. Penalty declined. Result of the play. Second down.
So they'll decline the Herring offside call. As you look at Andy Reid, this week we were discussing how they went through this playoff run with a home game against Miami, road wins at Buffalo and Baltimore. He said, we were a tick off during the season. It looked like to some folks they were just kind of slumbering through the year, trying to get to the postseason. What was the difference?
A lot of adversity through the year, but he's such a smart coach. He simplified. He started getting the tight ends all healthy. And what he did, which almost nobody can do, is that he all of a sudden said, we're going to change our identity. They're used to winning with big plays. They'd always had the formula of creating the big play, but now they're an efficient team, and they trust their defense, and they trust their running game, and you got to give them credit. Most people cannot do that and change their identity.
Well, speaking of changes, they changed their mind. The Niners, they accepted the penalty, so it's a 1st and 5 as McCaffrey slides left and comes up about 2 yards shy of the first. 2nd and 2 coming up. McCaffrey led the NFL in rushing this year. When we met with him this year, he said, I never thought that was something I would do.
Everyone thinks of him as a scat back, the wide receiver, this incredible guy out in space, and he is, but he is physical. And for him to win the rushing title, it just shows you how complete a football player he is.
Of course, we were talking about that story with his father having won 3 Super Bowl titles. That includes, of course, a great run with Mike Shanahan.
2 of the greatest offensive minds ever. Through Andy Reid, you might have 3 of the top 4 ever.
2nd and 2. Look at that little pause, that little hesitation, and then the bolt up the middle for the first down. Kittle with a nice block to help pick up that first for the Niners.
And they are displacing this unit. I mean, all the unique plays that Kyle Shanahan runs, it all starts with just a normal mid-zone run. His dad started it way back in the day. You remember Terrell Davis, you just mentioned the great Mike Shanahan. It started there, and then every play flows off of that, and that's where they layer their concepts. That's why everything's wide open, because you think it's a run, and then it's not.
You saw a nervous father looking on Mike Shanahan as they swing it out of the backfield. McCaffrey thrown down after 1 by Karlaftis, who's come up big in this opening quarter.
That was quite the little foot in the ground move.
Well, look at all this history, how it's reconnected back in '94. Some of the names, Mike was the offensive coordinator, Ed McCaffrey. Goes on and on. They hurriedly get to the line and snap it. Good time for Purdy. And that pass was going in the direction of Debo.
And this was planned to get up on the ball quickly, right? I think you're going to see San Francisco do a little bit of that no huddle, muddle huddle, get up fast, try and tire out this Kansas City defense because they don't want to roll in 10 guys up there in the front. They just want to play their 5 guys.
You know, we were looking at all those connections that go back 30 some odd years. You got a couple of Kubiaks that are on the staff here, and of course the Kubiak family very tied, starting with Gary and his time at Denver with Mike. 3rd and 9. As Purdy lofts it, he's got his man Conley. What a perfect pass. Chris Conley, who was drafted by Andy Reid back in 2015, played 4 years in Kansas City, comes up with the big catch against the Chiefs.
Look at this. He's sitting in this pocket. He's going to have to slide over because the pressure's going to come on him. And his eyes, Jim, he recreates that pocket. He helps the offensive lineman. He gets through progression so fast. That's perfect touch. But I think he has a unique gift that not everybody has. He is an outstanding, and I think he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL if he's not already.
1st and 10. Again, they give him the time, and he's got the pass threaded to Ray McLeod, and they move the football into Kansas City territory.
I mean, this was a perfect throw and a great job by McLeod to come downhill. Right across that middle, and for him to put that ball on him, and then McLeod to come downhill. Remember they talked about him not having a big arm? He's got plenty of arms.
And I know this too, it's accurate.
Yes, it is.
How about this? The last 2 passes have not been to the guys you think about. Ayuk, Samuel, or Kittle. It's been to Conley and McLeod. Now he's looking to go up top again. In fact, he's going long. He's got a man open, but it's overthrown as Ayuk couldn't quite find it in time or get untangled from Connor.
I mean, these plays, this is so difficult to defend. You've got switches, you've got 4 guys on one side of the field, you've got pump fakes. I mean, Kansas City fortunate there that Ayuk didn't actually continue to run. Watch Ayuk right outside. If he continued that right outside there, he would have had a chance for a touchdown. Really aggressive play calling right now by Kyle Shanahan. I love it. He said you got to come in here and take it. They're trying to.
2nd and 10. Oh, and this time they're waiting for him. They got him behind the line. And Udike Uzama, the rookie 1st rounder who has to step up because of Aminahu being out with an ACL.
Yeah, McKivitz takes a step outside, and that's how Kansas City gets people. It gets you behind the chains on 1st or 2nd down, a minus run, and now they get to load up, and Spagnuolo uses crazy blitzes.
Well, 0-0. I wonder who had that. Good luck out there. Scoreless after 1. You're watching Super Bowl 58 on CBS.
And he's doing his thing as well, and right now, he is showing the nerves. He's been able to handle it, and what a start by Shanahan to get him into the game, and now he's taking the ball downfield. But these are the situations you got to watch out for against Spagnuolo.
By the way, it's the first scoreless 1st quarter in a Super Bowl.
Oh, no.
Since the Patriots and Rams 5 years ago in Atlanta.
Who did that game?
You did. I'm thinking it's you now.
I remember the great punts in that game. There were a few beauties.
3rd and 14, starting the 2nd. Purdy steps away from the heat, heaves it, and it's knocked away at the last moment. Oh, boy. McDuffie able to defend it on Debo.
This is a touchdown, but you're attacking the 1st team All-Pro. No team is better at defending the pass against wide receivers. What a great job by McDuffie of timing that, getting his eyes back to the ball and staying in the hip pocket. I mean, they picked up the blitz. They were prepared for it. And one-on-one with all that space.
We could have coming up, they're going to go for a field goal attempt by the rookie Moody. This would be the longest made field goal in Super Bowl history if he makes it. 55 yards, 54 was the record. Steve Christie and Moody, the rookie, nails it. A Super Bowl record. Well, they're our friends from Nickelodeon. Noah Eagle, Nate Burleson, along with SpongeBob, SquarePants, Patrick Starr. Part of Nickelodeon's first ever Super Bowl broadcast going on right now. So how about Jake Moody? He struggled at times. In fact, had missed a field goal attempt in his last 3 games coming into this one. Looks solid with that one.
That's why we thought Kansas City, they're a dominant special teams group, and so far today, San Francisco looks like it.
And he's able to send it through the back of the end zone. Got to get this offense going if you're a Kansas City fan. You look at what this combination has done. Tied for second all time. Coach, quarterback duo with 14 postseason wins.
Yeah, you're talking about the great and powerful Oz over there, and Belichick and Andy's starting to rival that.
Andy with 25 career postseason wins, second to Belichick's 31. First down. Started out with Pacheco on the little pass, picking up 7. Let's take a look at Next Gen Stats powered by AWS.
Well, nobody's better than Patrick Mahomes at avoiding the sack when he's pressured. He's got those unique instincts, spatial awareness, and the last time these guys played, Jim, he got pressured like this 14 times. Could never get him down. Only 1 sack. So far today, Chase Young got him down. Gregory caught him from behind. It wasn't a sack, but that's a good start right now if you're San Francisco.
Kelsey not in on this play. And look at the power and strength for Pacheco to get close, but just a little short of the first. Third down coming up.
We've done a number of Kansas City's games this year, and that's been a huge difference. We've seen the evolution of Pacheco, the confidence of getting him the ball. And right there, this should be a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, and he makes it 3rd and inches.
Well, Steve Wilks, the D coordinator for the Niners, he said we've got to set the tone early with Pacheco, and they've held him to 9 yards so far. 3rd and less than 1. It's Rice with the carry, and he has the first. The ball came out and ended up in the hands of Justin Watson.
Yeah, and they used Rice in a lot of, he threw it to him, might almost look like. They showed it on the big screen there, but I think the way they use him is on these jet sweeps. This is another version of that. Put him in the backfield.
Would he do that in a Super Bowl game?
It looked like it, but I think it's a fumble. It's a fumble, but it looked like it kind of like wanted to be like, hey, there you are.
Not advised.
No, but he's been a big reason why they came on. They needed that other weapon on the outside other than Kelsey.
79 catches on the season for Rice as Mahomes rolls out and going deep, and it's caught at the 10-yard line. Mecole Hardman hauls it in. 52 yards.
I want you to watch the safeties. 31 on the bottom. Gets bite, but he's right in position. Gibson, just keep running with him. But no, he turns and stops right at the end. That was an interception. Mahomes launches it. Gibson gets lost because he's like, this is too long. There's no ball that's going to be coming now. That's how long the ball was in the air.
Yeah, that was a long time, a long gasp. And Hardman, who beat him up, the Niners in the regular season a year ago with 3 touchdowns, sets him up at the 9. First and goal. Pacheco cuts it outside, tries to do it a second time, and he lost the football, and the Niners are on it.
Unbelievable play by this Niners flying around defense right now. Kansas City's knocking on the door with that huge play, and this is why you have everyone fly to the ball, Jim, because one guy's going to come flying in at the end.
Hargrave with the recovery, and the Niners take over. Super Bowl 58 on CBS Sports is sponsored by Agent State Farm. Watch now at agentstatefarmmovie.com. Universal Studios and Universal Pictures Wicked, only in theaters Thanksgiving, and by T-Mobile. Magenta Status, premium benefits, brands you love. Well, Pacheco now joins McCaffrey. The 2 starting running backs have each lost fumbles here in the first half. Usually pretty sure-handed backs at that. San Francisco taking over at the 8-yard line. On the bootleg, trying to get around Bolton. And there is a flag coming in for that.
Personal foul. Horse collar defense. Correction. Defense number 32, horse collar tackle, automatic first down.
Horse collar here, Gene Steratore called on Nick Bolton.
You can see it, Jim, when Brock Purdy gets around there, when he grabs that nameplate and you see Purdy's knees buckle right there at that initial grab. That's a horse collar tackle, safety foul, and a good call by the officials.
Yeah, that was close. It's the right call. It looks like it.
9-yard run.
Jersey there, but that's the legs I think has really brought his team back last week with over 6 or 7 runs that were huge moments for first downs that helped them beat the Lions.
15 yards added off the 9-yard run as Debo picks up only 1. Now on that last possession by the Chiefs, the fumble by Pacheco. This is Kelsey. He was open on the deep ball to Hardman, so no issues there.
But after the fumble, he comes over to Andy. He goes, "Keep me in." What happened is, on the fumble, he was not in the game. Noah Gray went in, and he had to block. Noah Gray, the tight end Aether, had to block Lenore, and Lenore made him swim and actually created the fumble. And I think Kelsey knows, he's like, just keep me in there, even for running the ball.
2nd and 9. McCaffrey. They've shut down these first 2 snaps after the 15-yard penalty. Let's go to Tracy.
Jim, we saw the frustration from Travis Kelce on Christmas Day throwing the helmet. That's exactly what he did when he came off the sidelines, throwing it down again in frustration. Isaiah Pacheco also frustrated, went up and down the bench, apologizing to everyone. Spent a lot of time with offensive coordinator Matt Nagy. He cannot afford to have Pacheco lose confidence in himself. Andy Reid saying to him, hold it high and tight all day.
Well, I know one thing, that caught Andy Reid by surprise. Almost knocked him off his feet and almost knocked the play sheet out of his hand for the former left tackle at BYU. Here's a 3rd and 8. And they get to him. Reid comes up along with Karlaftis again.
Well, this is Steve Spagnuolo coming after him, man to man. But if you look right here, you're going to see number 20's out there, Reid, and he's going to end up spying and going to get Purdy down, and that's a great job by Spagnuolo of having a spy, because you wouldn't normally think that, right? But he used his legs so much in the last few games.
So now the second punt for Wisnowski. They still have not targeted Kittle. He did catch one, but it was on a penalty play.
Both these teams very prepared for these tight ends. Last one was a hug rush spy, but they're not going to let the tight ends beat them.
Fumbled for a moment. Richie James able somehow to gain control and composure. Coming up, the State Farm halftime report. JB and all the crew have their first half highlights and analysis coming up on the State Farm halftime report. You're not going to believe what happened. Watch this. Watch 57, Dre Greenlaw, after the stop on the punt return. And he's now in the blue tent, and it doesn't look pretty.
No. And he's had an outstanding year, and that's a huge loss. He's got great instincts, very physical in the run game.
Well, he had the 2 interceptions, including the game ender in the divisional playoff game against Green Bay.
Yeah, he can run. He covers opposing teams. Like him and the tandem of Warner are about as good as it gets in the National Football League. That is a huge loss.
So they brought in Oren Burks for him.
And he can run a little bit, but he doesn't have quite that same physicalness in the run game that I've seen yet, or the instincts yet.
Also got Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles on the field. You're looking at Burks right there, the 6-year player out of Vanderbilt who started his career up at Green Bay.
Yeah.
Flanagan-Fowles, who we were watching practice the other day, they had him on the Kelsey imposter quite a bit.
Yep. Well, these guys, they're still good. I mean, Burks, Flanagan Fowles, same thing, and here comes the card, and that's not good if you're a 49er fan. I want to wish him, hopefully he's okay.
I know one thing, he's in pain and disbelief.
You got 2 tight ends in here, Jim. That's where I think you're going to see him go the rest of this half.
Mahomes. Young, as he tries to get the forward pass to save the sack. Chase Young was on him. That's going to generate a flag for grounding. Didn't get back to the line of scrimmage.
Intentional grounding.
Well, watch. This is really what we're talking about, is this box area.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 15. 10-yard penalty. Loss of down. Second down.
You see Noah Gray is kind of in the area there, Gene.
You see that area right there, Jim? That's where the rush contain. See how everyone's staying in the rush contain? On the outside, Chase Young, don't let him get outside. If you do, he's going to create big plays. So the rush lane integrity, really well done. You've got to stay disciplined, and that created that.
Gene, I did say that Gray was in the area.
Yeah, Jim, I feel like Gray was. We know Mahomes is trying to get rid of that. He's scrambling outside of the pocket. Ball doesn't get back to the original line of scrimmage, but with Noah Gray working himself back toward that ball, to me, it felt like he was in the vicinity, and you could have gone with just an incomplete pass there.
Instead, it backs him up 10 yards to the 10-yard line.
2nd and 20. You don't have to defend the run as much. Watch out for the play action or quick screen. And, of course, Andy Reid runs it and puts you in a 3rd and long, though.
It picks up about 6 with Pacheco.
You'll take that all day for San Francisco. So you want to run it and get 5 there?
And Greenlaw is on the cart and heading in. We go down to Evan Washburn.
Yeah, Jim, Greenlaw unable to put weight on that left leg, and they're calling it officially a lower left leg injury, listed as questionable. Again, unable to put weight on that leg. Extremely emotional on the sideline for Greenlaw, guys.
Just devastating for the player and for the Niner Nation. He's a big part of this defense. 3rd and 16. And again, Mahomes able to get away at first. And finally brought down by Eric Armstead, the blueprint they call him.
Yes, and then one of the most dynamic players in the National Football League, Joey Bosa, gets chipped at the line. He's going to end up having 2 guys on him here, and then a 3rd's going to come over and help him, Trey Smith, and he's late, and right there, Bosa does a good job. Oh, see how smart he was not to take his hand and get it on his helmet? You know, you get that hands to the face. That was genius, really, to have that awareness at the moment.
Tell you, they're dominating that Chiefs offensive line so far.
This is scary, yeah. Andy Reid talked about that determines these games a lot of the time, and he's right now.
They're caught by McLeod at the 33. 52-yard punt that time. Field goal on the board for the 49ers, who have now relayed on to us the injury for Greenlaw is an Achilles injury, and that's what we feared.
Yes. Another motion by McCaffrey.
Purdy just out of the hands of Samuel. There was heat around him.
Well, you saw the motion there by McCaffrey. No one uses more shifts, motions. It's so hard to defend. Kyle Shanahan, watch this. All the misdirection, a shift, a motion, a guy going left, a guy going right. And then all of a sudden he has so many layers to it. Tonight, this is the one. Hey, you guys go that way, you guys go that way. We're going to give you all this, and just to throw and get a guy open over the middle of the field. Kyle Shanahan's such a treat under him, Jim, of great play callers. Everyone's trying to steal his system. But there's only one Kyle Shanahan.
See what he dials up here on 2nd and 10. Debo Samuel gets walloped twice, but holds on for a gain of about 12.
Just what we showed you. Motion, move people, get the eye candy, and then watch right behind. And the timing of that throw, it has to be on his back hip. It has to be at that time. Brock Purdy, excellent with his timing and accuracy, Jim.
Well, you were wondering about his nerves at the beginning of the game. He settled down into it pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, not kidding.
On 1st down, fakes into the line. Again, he's got time to stand still. And connect with McCaffrey, who has his leg bent back.
Ooh.
He's okay.
Wow. Great patience in the pocket by Purdy to wait for the choice route. McCaffrey goes up, gets to go either way. And this is a huge matchup on who's going to be guarding him. And you see, ooh, Reed has the matchup right now. But watch at the end, rolled up on that leg. Ooh, that right leg, right?
But he bounces right back up.
Yeah, shows you why. He's worked really hard. Range of motion, all the fun stretches.
Samuel out on 2nd and 4. McCaffrey, his leg's okay as he takes a defender with him for the first down. Willie Gay rode his back, but a gain of 5 and a first.
You really just the eye test right now. San Francisco's controlling the line of scrimmage, and it feels to me, you know, Kansas City, we know their game plan. Get them into a negative play on a 1st or 2nd down, and that's how we're going to win and stop this offense. But if they're able to run the ball like that, Jim, they're going to shorten this game quickly in the possessions in it. Andy
Reid spending some time discussing things with Mahomes as they're still trying to figure out how to way to get things cracking. Here's Mitchell getting a carry, and he's got a gain of about 7. Well, they're running the football now. What did Kyle Shanahan tell us when we met with him privately? I want 30 rushes in this game to start out with.
Watch the whole line go this way. They're all going to run. You run that way, and then you cut back. It's actually called a mid-zone, I call it, where it's not outside of everyone, it's not inside, but the entire line flows that way, and then your gap could be a C gap, B gap, or all the way back to the other side behind the center. That's a staple of Mike Shanahan, and Kyle's only taken it and almost improved on it.
He's already run it 12 times in this game. Again, it's Mitchell and Chris Jones. Grabs him with both arms and throws him down. 3rd down on the way. Oh, flag in here. L'Jarius Sneed.
You think it's on Sneed?
I don't know. Ayuk was there. Let's see.
We did the game against the Ravens last week, and the emotions and the frustration when they got behind, they got called on that, and that really hurt their team. And right now, Kansas City, if they get this call and the frustration after the snap, that cannot happen.
After the play was over, personal foul. Defense number 38. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
That's exactly what we're talking about. These are such huge plays because you had him in a possible position to get a stop, but watch right here. He pulls him back a little. Oh, can't do that right in front of the ref. Can't do it ever.
Yeah, the head slap.
Gene?
Exactly, Tony. Yeah, you know, they were tied up on the previous play. The previous play, referee came in to break that up. We went right back there again, and you just saw another one, and now they're going to throw on that. And I think that's a good call. You can't have that right now.
And the football's all the way down to the 21 off the penalty. Inside 5 minutes to go in the first half.
That's rare. Kansas City, the last 9 playoff games have won the penalty area. It's almost like they're always poised. Not so far today.
They've had 2 personal foul calls against their defense. Here's Purdy trying to take advantage. That time Sneed makes the play to break it up. And Bolton was putting pressure on Purdy.
This is all out pressure. And you got to get the ball out. They rush one more guy than you have to block. And Nick Bolton, watch the edge right here. He's pretending to look. Whenever they look that way, Jim, like, I'm over here, I'm not coming. Yes, you are. No one stands like that and tries to hide.
Got a pretty good hit on Purdy.
Yeah, that's why you could see that coming. You can get to a screen. You could get to a different play, right? But he's smart, but he's still young.
2nd and 10. Juwan Jennings, trick play. Oh, this ball's in the air for a long time. McCaffrey's able to pull it down, and he's going in for the touchdown. Juwan Jennings with a touchdown pass. Felt like it took forever to get there.
It was scary. It is wide open, but Bolton had a shot at it, and he just doesn't quite get there. It's a great job by the offensive lineman, Burford, for San Francisco. Watch at the end of this. This ball's going to be intercepted right here. He's coming to get it, and Burford hits him. And that allows the opening, and Kyle Shanahan says, we're coming here to take it and win, and you've got to go take it. You can't just be safe and beat Patrick Mahomes, Jim. You've got to make calls like that. What a play.
And now the extra point for Moody. 10-0 San Francisco.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Right after that touchdown, Chris Jones called the whole entire defense together. Steve Spagnuolo came in as well, and what the message was from Chris Jones was, we are beating ourselves. We have to play smart. Now, this Kansas City team, it is rare you see them lose their composure this early in the game. The offense also had a team meeting. Matt Nagy spoke to them and said, stop beating ourselves. They know they have to figure this out soon, guys.
Just 4:23, Tracy, to go in the first half.
That's a great point, Trace.
And the Chiefs have been blanked. Trick plays. Boy, Shanahan knows how to draw them up.
Yeah, as soon as Kyle Shanahan, he runs his first 15, 20 plays, he gets a beat on you, he uses your leverage against you. Okay, you're going to try and stop my running plays and my play action with this. Well, we're going to get all your guys to go this way, and there's only 2 guys left back over there, and you get 4 blockers. He's been waiting and setting that play up, and to be able to use your play call, your cool play, and get a touchdown off it, special.
Pacheco takes the pitch. And he's got about 8. Boy, Jawan Jennings becomes the first wide receiver to throw a Super Bowl touchdown pass since Antoine Randall L. in Super Bowl 40 when the Steelers of Bill Cowher beat the Seahawks. And Jennings was a quarterback in high school back in Murfreesboro, Tennessee at Blackman High School, and then went on to the State University where he was a big-time recruit and had an excellent career. 2nd and 2. That's a first down carry for Pacheco. Running up the middle, trying to establish something and do something before the intermission.
Well, they got into big personnel and ran it right at him, and you're expecting them to throw the ball, but right now they haven't protected Mahomes as well. And right now you got to give the edge to Purdy. I mean, Mahomes under more pressure, but how about Brock Purdy in his start right now, Jim? Very poised.
How about the fact that Mahomes, with 3 minutes and change to go in the first half, has only attempted 6 passes. And Kelce has 1 catch for 1 yard. Out of completion here to Pacheco.
Chase Young, Randy Gregory, Bosa are having a game today. Mahomes takes another hit. Gregory pushes Donovan Smith right to the ground. This is the defense. We talked about it coming in. The Niners cannot win the Super Bowl. This is from Coach Wilkes. If the defense doesn't do it, and when he means you can't let the Mahomes magic. They've done a great job of keeping him in there. He's got a perfect plan going right now after a lot of scrutiny this year.
2nd and 4. Edwards-Helaire comes into the game, and Bosa is there to meet him just a tick after the handoff for a loss on the play.
Fred Warner, he's unbelievable. When you watch him, he's going to come into your screen. He's right up top. Go ahead and run that. He's going to come flying in right there and disrupt and throw him right back into. They are dominating the line of scrimmage.
Kansas City's going to let the clock run down to the 2-minute mark. Niners have dominated the line of scrimmage, and they're up 10-0. 2 minutes to go in the first half. $10 going into the 4th against the 49ers. 10 down at halftime last year to the Eagles. But they've just turned a 3rd and 5 into a 3rd and 10.
Offense number 12. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Back, let's call it 3rd and 9. And Tony, now what about Andy Reid's strategy?
Well, another wide receiver not helping the cause. All year we've seen it. It's been really clean in the playoffs, Jim, but right there, Hardman, that's a huge one. 3rd and 5 is very different than 3rd and 9. Now you got to get the ball downfield, protect Mahomes, because right now that side has been very disruptive. Chase Young is dominated, and you're leaving one-on-one with Bosa. Whoa.
Bosa coming around the corner. Mahomes able to slip out of it and throw against his body. He's got his man. He's got Watson for a first down at the 39-yard line. As Mahomes able to improvise, we do have a marker back down near the line of scrimmage.
This will be on Warner. I think he was holding Kelce. So this is going to be Mahomes extending.
Holding. Defense number 54. Penalty decline, results in the play, first down.
That's the first time Bosa gets the one-on-one from this side. He's going to go up, around, and Mahomes is dying for you to go too wide. If you get behind the quarterback, it's the worst spot to be for a defensive end, because now he's allowed to slide up and recreate the pocket and allow his guys to get down the field.
The ball rest at the 39. Kelsey not in on this play. As Mahomes steps up and wings it. Oh, incomplete. It was dropped by Watson, who had just caught the ball on the previous play. This, of course, team has been menaced all year long by drop passes, most in the league.
This ball was behind Watson. This one's on Mahomes a little bit, but I do believe as he was stepping up, get ready, run that, and pause it right there. I think as he steps into this, watch the arm of Armstead. I think Mahomes is going to sense it and have to move his arm just a little bit so he couldn't get it out in front. He feels everything, Jim. Good job by Armstead.
And good stuff with the nuance there, Tony, as it's 2nd and 10. Just their 3rd snap of the game in San Francisco territory. Out of the backfield, Pacheco. It's about 2 yards short of the first. Burks pushed him out.
And this is how we've seen Kansas City play. I mean, the one big play earlier they had before the fumble, but other than that, they have not been a team who's going to try out and get out there and create explosives. They're about efficiency. They've been able to wear down these other teams by their execution over and over again. But today it's been very difficult, and they're going to need their superstar Travis Kelce to have a moment here soon.
2 yards away from a first. Low snap. Pass caught. Rice finally brought down by Logan Ryan.
And Logan Ryan getting a ton of snaps, the old veteran involved in the earlier fumble. He's tasked with a huge responsibility. It's a pick play kind of that you got to pretend, but that's a big tackle. A lot of guys break that and get an extra 10, 15.
Pass back to Rice. He's down at the 14. Warner on the coverage and the tackle.
Andy Reid starting to get a beat on you right now about what you're playing, but this was great instincts by Rice. Earlier in the year, he would have just slowed up, but now he's going to find the open zone. You don't run the route, you run to the open area.
Gene, what could he be arguing with the official about?
You know, all I'm thinking is he's looking for some time out a little quicker, Jim.
They've got one with 1:03 to go in the 2nd quarter. Patrick Mahomes trying to win a 3rd Super Bowl, and any way you slice it, he might be, well, one day hoping to catch this guy. And we know, Tom, you can run a lot faster than this.
Look at him, he's like, come on, catch up, buddy, catch up. He's passing the baton, you're saying?
Yes, he is. Well, I think it's going to be a fun thing to watch. Mahomes is only 28 years old.
Yeah, but Mahomes has created, and rightfully so, that aura, that mystique. It's so hard to beat someone. It's like Jordan, Tom Brady, where it's like you expect them to come back when you're on the other side. And I talked about it earlier. For Purdy to come out and handle the Super Bowl pressure. But as this game moves on and it gets later, the Mahomes effect happens, and I see other quarterbacks, they just get outside of themselves and they all of a sudden feel like they play safe. You got to go take it to beat them. So far, Purdy has.
They added time to 109, which is what Reid was looking for, as Rice takes it to the 11. Remember, they were down here inside the 10 when Pacheco fumbled. The only other time they've threatened, and also remember they can double up here as they deferred at the top.
I would have taken a timeout if I was San Francisco there. That was very surprising. Kansas City, you've got a ton of time, but they are right in that interesting spot where if they get a first down, you don't want to wait too much. Right now, I'm fine. Get up, use your timeout after this one.
Handoff to Rice for the 2nd time, a ball carrier, and he's going to be down at the 9.
Now Kansas City should be using a timeout.
And they do. Their 2nd one.
This is a very difficult situation because you want to waste the clock and you think you got a ton of time, but you think you only had those 2 downs, right? Right there going into that play, 2nd 3. But the truth is you can get a first down, and with only 1 timeout, you might have hurt yourself on an extra play or 2.
Of course, depending on what happens here, how close they get.
This is a 4-down territory for me.
I would kick a field goal if it gets to that.
If it's incomplete, yes. But if you get into a 4th and 1 or 2, I'd be going for it.
I will tell you this. No team has ever won the Super Bowl after being shut out in the first half. 0-13 all time. So points on the board. I think it's essential for him here, but let's see what happens with 3rd and 5.
Not many teams have gone to the Super Bowl 4 of the last 5 years and have Patrick Mahomes there either.
And come back from 10 down.
Yeah.
Each of the 2 times they won it with this group.
They're poised. It's been difficult, and it could be worse without a fumble and a couple penalties.
Paging Travis Kelce.
So watch, he goes down. He didn't run with him. You know it's a zone. Kelce, go up in the middle and work on Fred.
Stepping up. And gets pancaked by Armstead.
This has been that rush lane integrity. What a job by Steve Wilkes, D coordinator. Watch Bosa go up like he's going to go around the quarterback. Remember earlier when I talked about him going around and then Mahomes stepped up? Right here, he's going to pretend like he's going to come up and go around, and he stops and works back upfield. He almost rushed Mahomes to do that on purpose. Outstanding patience and just the ability to know the game at another level and awareness.
So Butker comes out for the short attempt. He's been perfect in the postseason. Nearly perfect all season long. 28 yards. Of course, it was from this very distance. He won the Super Bowl last year. Niners did take a timeout, by the way, to preserve a little time, assuming a made kick here and a chance to see if they want to think about it. So, Chiefs blanked up to the 23-second mark of the second quarter. Have Butker with Townsend on the hold, and Kansas City is on the board. So what do you think? That was a drive, Tony, that took 4 minutes, 13 plays, breaks down in the red zone.
Well, when you talk about that, this is the first time I've seen Mahomes. You know, the poise of Purdy so far in this game has been showed. But really, Mahomes, do you remember when we did the Raider game? We saw him move out of the pocket quickly. He started to try and do too much. And that reminds me of that Tampa Super Bowl. He's got to stay poised. We almost never see him this way. But the Niners have him a little rattled at the moment. And it's still a one-score game. He's fine. He'll be able to fix it. But he's got to restart. His internal clock is playing very fast right now. And that's rare for him.
Can't say enough about Steve Wilkes. Been under a lot of scrutiny, coming in on the heels first of Robert Saleh and then D'Amico Ryans, the last 2 defensive coordinators going on to head coaching jobs. Of course, he was a former head coach himself at Arizona, interim coach at Carolina, and it's gotten better as it's gone on, and especially so today.
Yeah, I mean, everyone runs a system, right? It's so hard to come in to a brand new system, and now you're in charge of doing that, so it takes time to integrate everybody and understand their strengths and weaknesses. But him calling them out last week, the embarrassing, unacceptable performance, well, they've really fixed that.
So 20 seconds from the 25. Let's see what they're up to. When you go back a couple years ago, I mentioned the draft was in Las Vegas when Purdy's name got called with the 262nd pick, the last one. And only one out of that class has started a playoff game, and all people, it's Skylar Thompson, who was the third-team quarterback at Miami last year. We had their game when they played up at Buffalo in the playoffs.
Yeah, the guys who played in the playoff games are the last 2 picks of the draft. Shows you, regardless of where you're drafted, you can make it, and not everybody can evaluate you perfectly, and I'm surprised they're not downing it.
Run it with McCaffrey picking up 7. Was that enough to get them a timeout here to take one?
No.
You're going to let it come run out with Williams and Karlaftis having a little discussion and more over here.
Don't do anything silly that's going to affect your team in the second half with a 15-yard penalty coming out.
Yeah, no kidding. Chris Jones mixing it up there a little bit with Aaron Banks.
You've got the champs frustrated right now, right? You can see the emotion. We haven't seen them have team meetings in the first half in a long, long time. You could tell this is a very important stage in this game.
Big first half by Young. Quiet start for Kelce. Purdy, again, unflappable as always, it seems. That's the end of the first half with the score. San Francisco 10, Kansas City 3, and coming up, the State Farm halftime reports. There's the first half numbers. By the way, both of the quarterbacks threw for an identical 123 yards. Of course, the one touchdown pass from Juwan Jennings to McCaffrey and Moody to get this third quarter underway. Not looking at a lot of runbacks today with these two legs on kickoffs. Let's go down to Tracy.
Jim, Andy Reid has told us often it's about how his team handles the ebbs and flows, the highs and lows of games of this magnitude. He told me pregame this one is going to come down to the line of scrimmage, and so far San Francisco has been dominating there. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo so good going out of the half, and he said it's not about who's right, it is about who gets it right. Jim?
Well, the first snap of the third quarter, and the ball is on the ground. Pacheco swung down at the 11-yard line. What a brutal beginning to the second half for Kansas City.
And this was going to be a play that's trying to get to the edge. And right there, that ball is a little back shouldery, but you still got to catch that. Pacheco takes his eyes off because he sees people flowing and doesn't make sure to catch it right there. And that is a horrendous start to the second half when you're really in need of some momentum, right, Jim? Only 3 points. This is a challenge, like you said.
A loss of
it feels more. It feels more than 10-3.
Loss of 12 on that. When you go back to the Ravens game, this offense has been shut down as they go ahead and get it across the middle to Kelsey, and that's just his second catch after 1 for 1 yard. Actually, it's Noah Gray. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, it is, and it did look the same. It was hard to tell the difference, but this is a check down in Tampa too, and to me, that's a situation where you just got to take what the defense gives you. They did that on purpose because it was second and really long. Now they for sure got you in third and long.
Yep.
They've only rushed 4 guys. They have not blitzed today, Jim. Only 4 guys have rushed pretty much the entire game because you've got 2 guys dominating right there.
3rd and 12. Stepping up and lofts it. He is picked off. He overthrew a target. And Brown comes down with it. Jair Brown, the rookie from Penn State, with the interception.
This is an outstanding job by Fred Warner. And the safety, it looks like it might be zone, but look at the tandem on the outside right here. Fred Warner's guarding him. In and out. Kelsey, in and out. One guy inside, one guy outside. Stay on your leverage. Then when Kelsey breaks free, Mahomes accidentally throws it over his head. Good job keeping your leverage. Stay on the outside. Kelsey ends up winning, flying all the way over his Brown. And that right there is simply because guys are doing their job at a very high level on this 49er defense. That is shocking.
Well, it's been a long time in the postseason since Mahomes threw a pick. 218 passes, and Brown, who had to come in for the injured Hufanga, comes up with a big play to start this quarter from the 44. Chanel chasing after Purdy.
Good throwaway.
And let's go down to Evan.
Well, Jim, a dream start for Kyle Shanahan, and he told me at halftime that we have to capitalize on every opportunity. That includes getting some takeaways. He feels like Mahomes will get going in this second half, and he also pointed to the fact that they lost Drake Greenlaw, defensive key piece to that unit, and he felt like that was something they were going to really have to overcome. That's an Achilles injury for Greenlaw. So Kyle Shanahan knows that this is going to be a 4-quarter game and loves the start, obviously, here in the third.
Thank you, Evan. 2nd and 10. Another marker out.
Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
And this is happening because of you're trying to draw these guys off sides or to see the pressure. On the first play, Chanel broke through the line and made Purdy throw the ball away. Well, he timed the pressure perfectly. So when you're trying to go on 2 or a double cadence, sometimes your guys jump off sides when you're trying to get them.
That's the 3rd false start against San Francisco.
Steve Spagnuolo going against Kyle Shanahan. He does a great job. Look, they don't look like they're pressuring. They don't look. And then all of a sudden you'll see one guy sneaking. He's pretending like he's coming. Nope, other side's coming.
2nd and 15. And that was intended for Samuel. McDuffie was the closest one to it.
This is that sticky coverage. You cannot beat the Kansas City defense if you're going to throw the ball to just wide receivers the whole game. You got to get the ball inside. You got to get it to your back. You got to get it to Kittle. Every once in a while, you'll throw it on an in-breaker. But these two DBs are as good as any tandem in the NFL, McDuffie and Snead.
What a big stop this would be for the Chiefs defense after throwing the pick, giving the 49ers a short field.
And this is a tough spot. You can kick a field goal. If you can get about 10 yards, you don't have to get a first down.
Purdy being chased and caught by Willie Gay. And that's going to be too far out to attempt a field goal.
Yep, he needed another 5 at least, probably. Kyle is upset, and Purdy does a good job at, protecting the football, not putting it in harm's way. Mahomes, that was really his first throw that really was in harm's way. He's gone the entire playoffs, and I can't remember more than one throw that he really allowed the defense to have a chance at, and obviously the last one he did, but Purdy's doing that today.
Well, they had great field position, but it's a 3 and out. And Wisnowski had only 2 touchbacks this year. Saved at the 1 in Las Vegas. And by the way, here to help kick off the second half was Brandon Torquato. Brandon was selected as this year's NFL Play 60 Super Kid for his involvement as a Special Olympics athlete playing unified flag football. You can visit NFL.com/play60 to learn more and access free online resources. Big drive coming up here for the Chiefs from their own 2-yard line.
You're not kidding. Do you trust running it right now and someone breaking free?
Take it into the line with Pacheco and going up and over, and that was intended for Valdez-Scantling, who has not caught a ball. In fact, that was his first target. We've had miscues all over the field in this game.
Yeah, that we have right away early in the game. First it started with San Francisco, then it goes to Kansas City with the fumble, and now Kansas City's been the one who's been doing it more often recently, and that was 2 out of 3 plays that were not Kansas City style, not that championship DNA we talk about. You don't come out down 7, have a fumble, and then throw an interception in 3 plays.
However, the 49ers did not score on those 2 takeaways. Here's 2nd and 10.
Oh, you cannot give that up.
That is Kelsey, and he drives for the first. Well, it looks like they're going to spot him. That spot is going to be about a yard short. I thought it was a little closer than that. 3rd and 1.
I mean, this is what you're dying for as a quarterback. Burks is out there. That would not have happened with Greenlaw. You just can't give up a flat route to get him out of the hole at the 1, Jim. That's just leverage where you line too far inside, expecting a run. Good job by them. Like right here, he's lying there. Kelsey last time just went to the flat.
Marked him almost a full yard short of the first. And a timeout called by Kansas City.
Kansas City's not one of those teams who does the tush push, and Mahomes got hurt years ago and they haven't done it ever since. So it's always tough when they get in these short yardage situations.
Well, each year we see the global reach of the Super Bowl growing with more fan viewing parties in time zones around the world. From Germany to Mexico, Australia to Brazil, there are passionate fans across the globe. It's interesting. Kansas City just took a timeout there.
Yeah,
I thought they could have challenged the spot,
exactly
which
right.
they probably wouldn't have won. It would have been closer than it is right now, but you're going to lose a timeout anyway. Might as well give it a shot.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jim. You may change an aspect, get the challenge back, but you're going to get the timeout there.
Look at how tight they are. They're ready for an inside run.
And they're, in fact, right there to pounce on them.
That's why you need a second play. You can't go for this now. You can't go inside your own 10.
Boy, look at Kinlaw come up and make quick contact. I don't know.
He's going for it, I guess.
Hey.
No way. They're going to punch him. There's no way.
It would be the biggest gamble in the history of Las Vegas if he does.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
And they've seen a few.
And we've been a part of some huge gambles this week by Gene's territory being around. Gino, you're the best. You've never lost. And you have to punt here. It's exactly right. But when they align with everyone down in there tight, Jim, that's where you might need another play to run out wide. But they tried to be safe and smart. Didn't work out.
That's now 16 consecutive drives without a touchdown, going back to last week against Baltimore. And again, the longest stretch of Mahomes' career. Townsend. Hang time demands a fair catch at the 36. Bud Light, if you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. There's Post Malone, who performed in pregame festivities honoring America.
He's great.
I don't think he was impressed with our singing too much, but
I would agree.
Gwen was here, Blake in the background. We're on first name basis these days. LeBron and Lady Gaga. She performed the national anthem a few years back.
She's amazing.
Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Wow. Think we got any talent in this building right now?
I'm telling you, yeah.
Usher, all these guys. I'm like, you could have the best concert ever with all of them just showing up.
First and 10. Niners up 7. Purdy. Chris Jones got spun around, and Jennings gets pushed back. Chanel was there to tackle him for the loss, but it was Chris Jones who busted up the play to begin with.
He's starting to learn what they're doing. They're flowing all the way over, and they're like pretending to run this play, and Chris Jones guesses right that it's a pass. He's supposed to try and fit in the gap on the inside, and he decides to say, nope, I've seen this before. McKivitz, and he goes backdoor and comes around, stopping the play. That's what the best players do. They start to just adapt within the game, Jim. You're going to see Mahomes do that. Chris Jones for the Chiefs.
Loss of 8. Second and 18. Got hit when he threw it, but he completes it to McCaffrey, who was then thrown down by Bolton.
This is a great job because Wharton pushes left guard Banks right into his lap right there. But this gives them a chance. You're getting 3rd and 11 here, but these 6 yards, 5, 6, 7 yards are huge if you end up converting.
So you got a 3rd and 10.
He's protected the ball all day. He's had to use his legs a little bit. Here's a chance to use your legs. Spagnuolo has come after him a little bit more as the game has gotten tighter. I expect him to come after him here. Look at 3 safeties. You don't know who's who.
There's Purdy launching it downfield. Is there contact? Connor on the coverage of Kittle, who's been held without a catch.
This was tough. Kittle has a choice route. He can go up, break out, go deep. He makes it a little bit of a poor choice right there. Break out, break in, but he wants the first down. And he doesn't get his eyes to be able to find the ball, and that's actually Debo. Looks like, that looks like a hamstring. Oh
boy.
Never know, but that's not good. It's an instrumental part of their team.
Got a medical timeout with Debo down. We are back at Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas, which was awarded this Super Bowl on December 15th, 2021, about 18 months after this stadium opened during COVID in the summer of 2020. Debo going in. Of course, he's been battling another injury, a fractured shoulder. And keep an eye on that as Wisnowski's going to punt for the 4th time. We've had each team with 2 possessions in the second half. 4 possessions total. Not a single first down in the 3rd quarter by either team. Oh, around the neck. It's Conley who made the play at the 1-yard line on the previous punt.
Well, he's going to be playing more if Debo's not able to come back in, Samuel, and watch this at the end. Just clotheslines him like a Hulkster. All his Hulkamaniacs are excited right now as he takes down James. Wow, that was a hit. You could hear it from up here. I'm actually a little bit, you talked about the drives not scoring, Jim. 6 plays in the second half for the 49ers, 6 passes.
Yep.
They can't make that mistake again. You got to run the ball. You have the advantage there. You showed you can do it early. Don't get away from it. And I think it's the same thing for Kansas City.
So that was a former Chief in Conley clotheslining the former 49er in Richie James, and it's first down for Mahomes and company. Kelsey's got the catch, and we've got our first down of the second half.
Yeah, they figured out now. Who are they picking on right there? Burks. Greenlaw is out. So he stayed inside leverage a couple times now, a little too long, and you can't do that against Kelsey. He'll use your leverage against you, and that ball coming out of the goal line from the 1. They come back to a different play, but trying to get the ball to the same spot.
That picks up 11 yards.
So keep watching this leverage. Now do you want him to come down and help, or are you going to get out there?
Pushing back the pocket as Pacheco is the target. And there's all kinds of 49er defenders waiting for him. Evan Washburn, it's yours.
Yeah, left hamstring, guys, for Deebo Samuel is listed as questionable. Out of the blue tent now here with the athletic training staff on the sideline trying to work through this, doing some light jogging, obviously in some discomfort. But as you mentioned, he's been banged up throughout this season, and even throughout this game. We'll keep you posted.
So Deebo with one already huge 49er, Greenlaw, out for the game and on the bench. In fact, watching as Pacheco tries to ride it back toward the first down. Gibson was on him first.
Yeah, it's a good job. Burks right there. I talked about Greenlaw being out and how Burks just doesn't quite have the same experience and instincts with it, but right there comes downhill. He can come in there and help in that run game, no question. He can run. They're going to try and expose him, though. He's going to have to come up with a big play.
Watch Jerick McKinnon, who lines up in the backfield. Just activated after being out for a while. Off IR. Mahomes keeps it. And somehow got past the defenders, including Lenore, to pick up the first down. Looked like he could be stopped a yard short.
Yes, it did. And that's all heart, the will, determination, everything you want to say. Patrick Mahomes, they do a good job passing off the play, but right there, puts his head down. And you can see, I mean, you don't do that very often. He knows the Super Bowl is in the balance here on every possession.
By the way, the Chiefs' all-time leading rusher in the postseason is Patrick Mahomes, who has it right now. He's got 10, 15, 20, 22 yards on the run before it's finally ended by Logan Ryan.
What a play design right here. Matt Nagy, Andy Reid. I want you to watch. He's going to give it like he's coming here, but then he's going to keep it and run all the way outside with no defender help. You know why, Jim? Because they don't ever run that. And you sprinkle it in the Super Bowl because you don't want to expose him to injury.
Boy, one thing is that Bosa got fooled out completely on that play.
Because you never see it. It's been 4 years since I've seen that run a bunch.
Pacheco takes it near the 40. Flanagan Fowles is the one who tackles them.
And guess what? Efficient passing plays, run the football, have a cool wrinkle like the quarterback keeps it. This is how Kansas City has worn teams down in the playoffs today. This is really starting to look like, 1 out of 2 drives that I've seen their ability to do the same thing they've done earlier.
It's a drive that began back at the 14-yard line. Mahomes, Bosa near him, and just takes the incompletion.
This is all rush lane integrity, Jim. They're making him go east and west. He's not able to go north and south, step up and get around. To me, this is why. Do not let him get outside of this. Keep him in this box. If he goes outside of it, he's got to go backwards, not get his momentum. Right there. Great job by Bosa. Now he goes east and west. That takes discipline.
Mahomes told us this week one of the keys in the postseason for them has been staying out of 3rd and long. They've got 3rd and long here. 3rd and 8. And the Niners are up to as Hardman is wrestled down.
Oh, we got people on the field.
Oh my goodness, we do. We got a streaker on the other. Well,
it was a partial streaker. It's
partial
just a shirt
streaker,
off.
yeah.
Shirt off. But we can't talk about it. And well, one thing though, they have not pressured all game. Kyle Shanahan, Steve Wilkes, timely dial that up right there. But did they get enough yards? I think they're going to kick the field goal. They still have a shot with the big leg of Butker. What a job he's done right now.
By the way, this would eclipse the all-time longest Super Bowl field goal by a yard or 2. So it could put Moody's record away. And Jay, 57 yards it looks like to me for Butker.
Well, I watched Butker go back to 70 in warm-ups. He's just been historically good this year. 41 of 43, 95%. And Jim hasn't missed a field goal over 40 yards all year.
57.
Oh, boy.
Jay Feely.
Oh, boy. Jay, you put it on the line. He is special. He's got to overcome you now.
There's a high snap. He drives it through.
Oh, you called it,
Oh,
Jay.
my goodness. That is now 9 consecutive makes from outside 50 for Butker. Here's a look from our Skycam presented by Bud Light. So 55-yarder by Moody, 57-yarder, and watch how close this was being blocked by Gregory or Beal.
Oh.
It was a low kick, as it was pointed out by Jay Feely, because of the snap, because he was trying to drive it that way.
Yeah, it's a high snap, so the ball's not down early enough. Great concentration to finish right through it.
Kicking towards the torch, which was activated today by Plunkett and Bolitnikoff and Marcus Allen. Well, Purdy comes out, and I was just looking because, yes, Deebo Samuel is coming back out there. I'm not sure I expected that.
I did not. It's the Super Bowl. They got the great staff giving you every chance. I mean, while he's out there, I would use him.
Back into the I formation.
Got to run the ball, Jim. Get back to running the football.
It's McCaffrey. Hammered down at the line of scrimmage. That's Mike Pennell.
Yeah, and Kansas City knows you're running it there, right? No big deal. Now run it again. I'd run it again right here. Watch Pennell on the inside take on that double team, or move Williams actually right at the end, pushes him right back into him. He's come up big these last few weeks. I mean, this month he's been a big part, especially without Omenahu, who was a huge loss, I felt like, inside for Kansas City.
And Derek Nottie also, who had to go to IR.
Yep.
Pennell signed late in the season, returning
quarterback sneak
to Kansas City. 2nd and 10, and Purdy under pressure in the direction of Ayuk. Mike Edwards was there to break it up.
This secondary is outstanding. Ayuk runs a great route, but it's just very hard when you have DBs. Edwards, who's really, he got a Super Bowl with Tampa, comes over here. Veteran player. These guys, they're just outstanding. Maybe the best secondary in the league, and you can't win it that way. We've got to run the ball and get into manageable situations. That should have gotten you 5 yards in a run.
3rd and 10 coming up. Ayuk was the target. 1 catch so far today for Ayuk. After a brilliant first quarter, 4 for 11 cents. They like to go to Jennings sometimes on 3rd down as he fires down the field, and that was intended for Deebo. McDuffie again. McDuffie's made some fine plays in that secondary.
Yeah, he's the first team All-Pro, and we're trying to throw at him consistently, and it's like, you know, we got guys that are really good. Kittle, like, look, he runs the route for him. We've done enough games. McDuffie and Snead win more often than the wide receivers do.
He's broken up passes a number of times, including one in the end zone. So a 3rd straight 3 and out for the Niners. Let's see if Conley can do something downfield. He has on the last 2 punts. James shifting over to his left, fields it at the 20. And is thrown down right after that. Odom on the tackle. Let's take a look at Next Gen Stats, powered by AWS.
Well, pressured on 6 to 17 dropbacks, and it's been with a 4-man rush, and that allows the back end to play shell coverage, which means 2 safeties high, helping all the DBs. And you see right now the movement, and I think that Mahomes is kind of, you feel that early in the game with all the pressures that have happened. He very seldom gets sacked. He's protected the ball until the one mistake. But right now you have an opportunity to change this momentum.
There's the handoff to Pacheco for 3. They've contained him so far. Pacheco is 11th rush for 35 yards in this game.
That's why it's very difficult for San Francisco, or for Kansas City today, because we just talked about 4-man rush, 2 safeties very deep. That's helping defend the pass. And if these guys inside with this kind of effort and determination are able to keep this up, you're going to have trouble.
2nd and 7. Boy, little pump fake and a shovel pass. And Kelsey was waiting for it. Takes it about, 3 yards short of the first down. His 4th catch. That one for 5. 4 for 26 for Travis.
Watch the interior of the pocket get pushed. At that moment, Mahomes knows the edge rushers are playing outstanding, so he's got to find the soft spot in the pocket to allow these receivers to get downfield. Huge 3rd down right here.
McKinnon, the running back. Mahomes again being chased. Bosa's on him, and it's incomplete.
If San Francisco wins this game, Bosa not falling for the trap, staying disciplined in his rush lane to stay outside. Just watch him right here. It's so easy to want to go underneath this defensive end. Stay there, don't go right there, come back. That does not allow Mahomes. He has to go east and west backwards. If he gets to move his body weight forward, he can go anywhere on the field.
There have been 530 punts in the history of the Super Bowl, and there's never been one returned for a touchdown.
Oh, you just threw it out there.
Want some odds on that? Ball swooped up and he touched it. It's a fumble and it's a recovery by Kansas City.
You knew something was happening there. You just felt it.
I just wasn't sure what it was.
Nostradamus again. Oh my gosh, what a huge play right there.
McLeod coughed it up. Recovered by Watson.
Coming in, we knew the special teams advantage went San Francisco's way. Did McLeod think one of his teammates hit it or something?
I can't imagine why he tried to pick it up.
It did. It was actually smart by him to try and get it. He's exactly right.
It did. It hit the back of the foot of a teammate.
You yell Peter, 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 which means get away. That's what they say. I don't know what the term, but you got to yell.
It hit the back foot of Luter.
You got to yell at him, get away, get away, get away.
Incredible. It was on Luter, and that's why he made the attempt to recover it. And now set up in the red zone. Trying to take the lead. Mahomes goes for it right away. Wide open. Touchdown. Valdez-Scantling. The Chiefs have their first lead in the Super Bowl.
What a play design. Andy Reid, Mahomes, they knew this. They set this up all week waiting for this. I want you to watch on the outside. This is who he's going to split. Normally you run him there, but you got Kelsey. It's a split release. Safety comes down. So instead of Kelsey running up the seam, you get Valdez-Scantling, and that is incredible route design.
His first catch of the game goes for Kansas City's first touchdown. He's been big in the postseason. Valdez-Scantling with 3 catches in the playoffs of 30-plus. Extra point good. And then a touchdown in this one.
He has come up big, hasn't he?
After a forgettable regular season, he's been clutch for them.
Yes, he has.
That's how it all started. It grazed the leg, the back of the foot for Darrell Luter, the rookie out of South Alabama. And then the very next play, Mahomes to MVS.
And that's just by play design. Obviously, great throw, but if you can get a guy that wide open in a Super Bowl, after a team studies you for 2 weeks, you know your coach knows what he's doing. Kelsey is ready to party if they can actually hold on to this one.
Well, you got to fight for your right. You know that.
He said it after each AFC Championship game.
Yes, down on the platform. Yep. I might join them if it's their way. I've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
Holding the mic.
This is the moment right here that I talked about early in the game, Jim. The pressure of the Super Bowl, Purdy handled that to start the game. The second one is when you're trailing Patrick Mahomes late in the game. You still got a quarter. Little change left in the third.
But it's 13.
But you feel it now. You feel it now if you're Purdy. You don't have any wiggle room, right? You've got to go put this team on your back. Stay calm, stay poised, trust the system, and go beat Brock Purdy.
You saw Luter, who inadvertently saw the football run off the back of his foot and set up that touchdown. 13 unanswered for Kansas City, and this will mark the final NFL broadcast under the leadership of Sean McManus, chairman for a long time, going back to '96, and we were adding it up. Executive producer of the NFL all these years as well. He's the one who brought the NFL back to CBS back in the late '90s.
He was also the guy who took a chance on your partner over here. Threw him in the booth with the great Jim Nance.
2,725 games under his stewardship, and David Person, pleased to say, will be the next leader of the group, our current president, as the pass is intended for Ayuk.
Both great leaders, both great leaders. Brock Purdy's been a great leader, and oh no.
Feliciano, the right guard, shaken up now.
No one's better than the Kansas City Chiefs at batting passes down. We've seen it a ton, even in the playoffs.
There's Feliciano getting pushed back. You know, one thing they were going to really miss, not only was Charles Omenihu, who really become a big part of this defense, blew out his ACL at Baltimore, but he was great at knocking down passes too. We're going to take an injury timeout. All right, into the blue tent for John Feliciano, former Buffalo Bill, former Raider, and in comes Spencer Burford.
And those two guys kind of switch up a little bit anyway, so it's like not just a starter back. They kind of have been doing that a little bit.
You saw the graphic. The Niners offense has done nothing so far in this quarter. 3 yards.
Run the ball. There you go.
That is McCaffrey bouncing around and taking it to about the 30.
That shows you Kansas City was ready. They were expecting a run right there, and that shows you your ability to still, you know, the leading rusher in the National Football League. Last week, Baltimore, just it gets away from you, right? The game sometimes, and then you don't go to your core principles.
Spags trying to become the first coordinator, offensive or defensive coordinator, to win 4 Super Bowls.
All out pressure, man-to-man on McCaffrey. Oh!
Timeout called by San Francisco.
You had your matchups there.
Why did Purdy call the timeout's the question?
Because the front, they didn't love it for the protection, but I think the older he gets, he would have just changed the protection quickly. He still had 6 on the clock. Told the tight end to stay in, get your one-on-one matchup and protect it up, and you can gash him.
How about the way this defense for Kansas City has taken Kittle out of the game so far as a receiver?
It's been amazing. I really felt like the way for them to score was going to have to use Kittle. Problem is they use him a lot of different ways. Honestly, Juszczyk and Kittle have been why they've won so many games, because they play a ton. Now they've gotten in a lot of 11 personnel. I'd get back to 21 personnel, which means putting the fullback in the game. It's 3rd and 5 here. I get it. But after this, if they get a first down, bring them back in. Get back to the beginning of the game.
3rd and 5. Purdy has missed on his last 4 throws.
See the motion? No one's running with him. Now you got someone running on the other side. So you sit here and you go, it's man-to-man, you caught him.
Purdy fires it. Got his target. Juwan Jennings, as he always does, it seems anyway. 3rd and Juwan, they call it, and he comes up with the first down catch on 3rd down again.
There's your matchup. If you don't throw to your top 2 receivers, who do you have guarding you? Joshua Williams. You can't go at McDuffie and Snead consistently. He's going to have to come up huge, him and Kittle, to win this game. And right there, that was as big a throw and catch as you've seen San Francisco have in over 2 hours almost.
Yeah, no, it's been 101 actual minutes.
That was pretty close.
Since they had their last first down. 17:20 on the game clock as Debo, bad hamstring and all, fighting for every inch. Got about 8. Nice block too by Jennings.
Yes, Jennings and Ayuk. This team blocks at the wide receiver position as good as any team in the NFL. You can't play no block, no rock. That's what they call it for the wide receivers here. And the great Tommy Spencer, your spotter, told me that one earlier, and I was like, Kyle, that's awesome. I'm stealing that.
You're stealing that.
No block, no rock. And they block in the run game and in the pass game.
Yeah, that was Jennings you just saw on one knee who threw that block. 2nd and 1 as time's running out on quarter 3.
There he is.
Juszczyk got the first down.
That's a first-team All-Pro fullback right there. And he needs to stay in the game for me until it gets in a third and obvious passing situation.
So the Niners are finally starting to get something going again on offense as we're through 3 quarters. Well, it's only taking so far 284 in 3-quarter games to get to this point with the Lombardi Trophy pending. And Spags and his defense have been dominant late in these playoff games.
No touchdowns, only 3 points in the playoffs over the last 8 or 9 weeks. Only 2 touchdowns. They get better as the game goes on, the adjustments he's made. But Kyle Shanahan, he knows how to do it too. Let's see who wins the chess match.
1st and 10 to start the 4th. Purdy down the middle, open Ayuk. His second catch is a big one as Reed tries to rip it out of his hands, but that's not happening.
This was a great job by designing to get him on Reed, a safety. By the motion that happened, he didn't get McDuffie. As a coach or a coordinator, you're trying to get your best players on their worst players. And I'm trying to make sure my worst defenders don't guard your best guys. That was all designed by Kyle Shanahan to get him on a safety read.
Picked up 20 with that one. It's Ayuk's 30th catch on the season of 20 or more yards.
And he's one of the best route runners in the NFL. He's improved every year. He's outstanding.
Led the league in average yards per catch as Purdy fakes and goes long to the end zone. Oh, Samuel had a step.
This is the second time I've seen Chris Jones disrupt a quarterback who's going to throw a touchdown. And Jones comes flying in. Watch 95 right here. Right there, he makes it where you can't quite get your momentum into. He had him. What another play design.
I was watching you. I could see you. You thought it was going to be a touchdown until Jones came crashing in.
That's the same thing happened to Josh Allen at the end. Remember, it was going to be, but Jones pushed him right there. It's twice saving.
Yep. That was in the divisional round on a 3rd down play. 2nd and 10. Now they go back to the ground. McCaffrey surveys and goes. And that's a great example why he led the league this year, not only in rushing, but first in the league rushing before contact and second best when it comes to rushing after contact. And doing it all.
You're exactly right. You see his burst and speed. Great job on the outside blocking by Conley, and then Juszczyk and Williams out in front. That could have actually gone for a touchdown.
Got a 3rd and 2 here, Tom, coming up.
4 down territory for me. I'm not tying this game. Unless you lose yards, I'm going to go ahead and pound the rock.
Going to go back with Juszczyk, the fullback, leading the way as McCaffrey tries to go outside. He lost a yard. Oh, boy, did the Chiefs come breaking through for that one, including Pinnell and Chanel. They have comboed a couple of times to make plays.
This was an unbelievable job by Pinnell to push into the backfield. Watch the push right there to make McCaffrey have to extend out, and that gives the angle for Chanel.
4th and 3 now. They lost a yard. They're going to...
I like it. Try and draw them off sides first.
Okay.
Get a motion, see if you get man-to-man or zone, and you get 2 or 3 play calls in the huddle.
You got a chance to tie it with a field goal. Instead, go for it. That's the call from Shanahan.
Gonna have to throw it outside.
4th down, it's Kittle, and I think he's short.
No, he got it.
You think so? Reaching out.
He got it.
Okay. That was Reed on the tackle.
What guts right here. And you have to beat this leverage. He's outside of you. Let's see if he gets it out in front of that line. First down by the first-team All-Pro.
Yeah, he did it.
He's been very quiet today, but he's not quiet
call, Tony.
anymore.
His first reception of the game, it was a huge one at that. So from the 12.
Kyle's very aggressive here normally. I would just run the ball, trust him, but he likes to go ahead and get some cool play.
McCaffrey. And first hit by Wharton. Pickup of a couple.
The other thing is you're wearing this defense down just a little bit. They're giving everything they got, but they don't sub in a ton of guys on that D line, just bring in one normally.
You saw Herring, who was in on that last tackle, also kind of holding his shoulder. He comes out and is replaced by Anyudike Uzama. And Debo has to come out also. Chris Jones, interestingly, out
fullback's outside, Jim. You don't have a cornerback on you. You do have a corner, so you know it's zone.
1 second on the play clock. 2nd and 9. Purdy's pass. Caught. Jennings did it. What an effort breaking tackles. Now he's thrown for a touchdown and caught another.
All-out pressure. The blitz is on. You're in the Super Bowl. Down to Mahomes, the defending champs. And you stare down that pressure and you take it and throw a strike to give your team the lead. Oh, this was, you know you're going to take a hit. Watch right here. Backside, front side. But that's also a great job by Jennings, the extra effort, Jim. One-on-one.
How about the gamble working out with Kittle? Jawan Jennings, 17 of his 25 catches is Moody. Extra point. Oh, my goodness. No, it is blocked. How big is that now? A 3-point game.
And by the way, Jennings ran that route on Snead, who does not give up touchdowns very often, Jim.
Well, Jake Moody misses the extra point, but we also want you to know that voting is now open for the Super Bowl 58 MVP. You can have a voice in this. Go to NFL.com/MVP and vote now. So Moody, including the extra point he made earlier today, had never missed a PAT here in his rookie season. He was 68 for 68.
Has he ever played in the Super Bowl when you really need it? Everything on the line, it's different pressure right now for everyone.
Jay, what happened on that extra point?
Well, Tony, you're right, because this was on Moody. There was not a lot of penetration, and he hit a low ball. And the difference, obviously, between 3 points and 4 points is so huge in this game. Decent snap. You can see that ball come off his ankle, and it's low. And we talked all week about the advantage the Chiefs had on special team. Bucker makes the long field goal. They get the turnover on the punt, and now a big miss by Moody.
Chanel was the one who got a paw on it first. There's a 1st and 10. Mahomes has Kelsey. Biggest catch of the game for Travis.
Wow, what a route. He's actually got to recreate the leverage. Watch Gibson. He's outside leverage. Don't fall for the inside. But no one has been better ever at the tight end position when someone has leverage on you and you have to make them feel going the other direction and then getting back out there. This dude's taken over and been dominant in the playoffs. When Mahomes throws to him, they have a 140 quarterback rating. I mean, this is Montana Rice territory.
5 for 42 for Kelsey. Handoff a little difficult on the exchange, getting it to Pacheco. No gain. Eric Armstead's had quite a game, and he blocked up that middle.
Yeah, he's been the stalwart, the guy, the blueprint you called him earlier that they talk about. He's as solid on and off the field as anyone. He's the guy who texts the guys, the coaches, gets the mindset right. He's the veteran.
Second and 10. That pass wide of the mark for Rice. Logan Ryan on the coverage.
It's a really good job by Logan Ryan, who's done outstanding today. He makes the throw have to go wider because he's underneath leverage.
Logan
That's
Ryan,
impressive.
of course, has won 2 Super Bowls. His past as a member of the Patriots, who was on a family cruise to the Bahamas over Thanksgiving when he got a call from John Lynch about, we might want to bring you in. He said, finish the cruise first.
Oh,
he worked out the entire time on the boat, came back, they signed him. Now he's playing in the Super Bowl.
And he's played outstanding today. He knows the game at a high level, and he has really helped them right now have this lead.
3rd and 10. Open. Kelsey somehow left alone. Warner brings him down, but it's a big first down for the Chiefs.
Well, they send pressure, a 5-man rush. Problem is the miscommunication. And this was actually because Logan Ryan, I believe, accidentally came and went to the other side incorrectly, and Warner had no help inside. Good throw. But all the motions and the things that happen make it hard on teams, and that's what happened there.
Did you see Mahomes? The only way he knew it was complete was to look at the board as his back was to the play as he was tumbling down.
I've done that a few times. Just sit there and look up at the board. You don't want to waste all the energy.
Low snap. Mahomes resets, fires, incomplete. Almost into the hands, though, of Brown, who had that interception to start the third quarter.
And this is on Creed Humphrey, the center. He just sends it back low, and this is so uncharacteristic of this Chiefs team to have this many little things, right? They've played such clean games in the playoffs. It's almost like they did this stuff this year, but they shut it off when they got to the playoffs with the championship DNA. But it's back now.
Unfortunate for that to end up just an incompletion. And 2nd and 10 with 9 minutes to go. Open, wide open. It's Watson, bounced out near the 20.
This is just a great job by Mahomes of reading this defense. They're trying to disguise it as single coverage, which means you got deep. But at the end, you're going to see him roll back. And Mahomes, if they get into a cover 2 look like that, it's a high-low out there. That's the soft spot. Outstanding job. Good job by San Francisco trying to disguise it, but you can't get Mahomes anymore. He's in that nice sweet spot of knowing the game and athleticism.
And in rhythm, too. He's got 3 tight ends on the field for this play. As a toss to Pacheco. Looking for an opening. He found one. Boy, there wasn't a whole lot there. He picked up 8 out of that. And I mentioned all those tight ends. Noah Gray and Blake Bell were both on that side to help a little bit.
And this is where teams took advantage. Green Bay, it's a pin pull. One guy blocks down. You get guys on the edge, and that wide gap, Jim, the stuff outside the tight end, that was where teams had success against this Niners D. They tried it a little bit early. The Niners were prepared for it a little bit. A good job of them coming right back to it.
2nd and 1. 12 yards out. Pacheco again, up the middle. Down to about the 4. Boy, there was a burst by Pacheco. 1st and goal to go after that 8-yard pickup.
What an outstanding job by your right guard. You're going to see him come right here, and then from there goes Pacheco, right hitting that hole. But really, that's all Trey Smith. An outstanding guard, one of the best in the National Football League.
And Noah Gray for the 2nd straight play, also with a pivotal block. 1st and goal at the 4. Trying to regain the lead. Handoff, Pacheco for 1.
Armstead did an incredible job. Bosa as well of creating a new gap, displacing the offensive players, which usually is the opposite. But Andy Reid, he's one of those coaches, Jim, that always has a unique flavor play, right? One trick play, something in the red zone that he's been studying for 2 weeks or maybe a month.
Sometimes right here inside the 5, too. 2nd and goal. From the gun with time, Mahomes able to escape. Bosa fires it incomplete. Rice was the target.
And this was almost going to be that time when you were undisciplined, Bosa. I mean, it's great effort, but watch right here, Bosa. Remember I talk about you cannot let him get outside of this. You got to make him go east and west. Don't go inside when you attack him there. Oh, now he has the ability to move his body weight forward, and they're lucky.
Flanagan Fowles got his hands on it right here, and now you got a 3rd and goal with 6.5 to go, down 3. Going empty. Looking left. Looking. Rolling out. Mahomes in trouble, and he's taken down at the 6. It's Hargrave.
Oh, the effort on this D-line. Hargrave gives everything he has, but Bosa as well to keep that line I talk about. He cannot get outside that line going forward. He looks to the left, comes back. Warner, by the time he moves around, but this was all the rush lane discipline. That's where he was looking right there. Good pass off.
And Lenore had airtight coverage.
Yep, but right there, he makes him go back inside, Jim. Doesn't allow him to keep extending.
Hargrave, who lost in the Super Bowl last year to the Chiefs, playing for the Eagles, makes that stop and brings out Butker now to try to tie it from 24 yards. And it is knotted at 16. Oh. Kansas City in the red zone today, 1 for 4. The one play red zone touchdown pass to Valdez-Scantling. Oh, there we got doink. Cam in action as it hits the goalpost. 2 field goals, the 1-play touchdown, and the fumble. That's all they've done in the red zone today. As Purdy and company come out for the biggest drive of his young career. Player who had his first career start was versus Tom Brady, and now he finds himself with his first career Super Bowl versus Patrick Mahomes.
The pressure.
And the ball is in his hands.
Wow, you dream of this as a kid. You got a shot to win a Super Bowl on a drive, Jim. Here it is. You've waited for this moment your whole life. Calm down, take a breath, help him out, Kyle. Just make it simple to start.
Going up top right away. Throws it. Oh, Jennings! What a game he's having. What a drive starter it is, too.
It's just an outstanding job. How aggressive, coming right out. They play zone, and Purdy lets it rip early. This is one of his great attributes, is just the timing on his throws, his spatial awareness, and can't have a better start to a huge drive than that.
By the way, Jennings joins Nick Foles as the only 2 players in Super Bowl history with a touchdown pass and a touchdown reception.
Yeah.
And a big play right there of 23 yards to get him near midfield.
He's played the game of his life in some ways today. Couldn't come at a better time for a Niners fan.
First and 10. It's Debo trying to fool the defense. And they do. Picks up a big chunk play for about 9.5 yards.
No one better at using your leverage against you. Make everyone think, pull the guard, we're going over there. And this is what happened to San Francisco. Detroit did a good job. The Lions, they have a beat on it. Kyle Shanahan starting to get in rhythm, finding and understanding what Spagnuolo's doing.
We got an injured Kansas City player, and it's Karlaftis.
They're tired right now, Jim. That last drive before, that took a lot out of them over 6 minutes. It was like, it's been a long game. It's been a long season. You got to give everything you got, but they don't rotate these guys in and out like other teams, right? Just, you got to play the whole game, and you got to ask your superstars to step up.
It's an injured hand for Karlaftis.
Look, the emotions. Every play now could win you a Super Bowl or lose you.
He's going to stay. He wants to stay, but they can't. He's got to come out. So they were examining the ring finger for Karlaftis, who already has 1 Super Bowl ring to put on that finger and would like to get a second one. And he'd like to get back on this field as soon as he can.
Yeah, when these 2 teams played 4 years ago, Chris Jones was the only starter on this defense. They're very young. Not everyone has been a part of every huge moment, but they've got a lot of guys who do have experience in this moment.
2nd and a foot. Clock running. McCaffrey will pick it up with ease. Now it's interesting to see how they use the clock.
This is why it's concerning about how tired, because, I mean, they are tired, this Chiefs defense. No matter how you slice, you played this whole game. It's the 56th play coming up, and the last drive right before took a lot out of you. But this clock is ticking, 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 and at 40 yards, if you can run the ball for 5-6 yards, Spagnuolo knows it. He's going to have to sell out at some point here, possibly give up a touchdown, but he has to get them behind the chains. You cannot let them run this ball for 6-7 yards right now. Oh, they got him. They know he's coming on the edge. Bolton.
1st and 10. They go away from him and go to McCaffrey. Dana has him at the 35.
Spagnuolo's not going down without sending pressure. He knows he has Patrick Mahomes on the other side. His only mistake is if he lets this clock be run out and does not allow him to get the ball back. So be aggressive, come after him. If they score, so be it. But I cannot let them nickel and dime me over and over again.
Remember, Kansas City has just 2 timeouts. They took one in the 3rd quarter.
Great point.
Deep in their own territory.
And you want to give these guys a break almost right now. Just look at the mannerisms. It is everything, but just look at how they get in their stances. It's hard.
2nd and 5. Bootleg. Purdy has to unload it. And that's McDuffie able to bring Kittle down right away. That was pressure from Bolton that broke up that play. Pick up a yard, that's all. Now you got a huge third
Watch
down
right
coming
there.
up.
Look at this. McDuffie has to play the run. It's a great job by him to be able to make up that ground. That should have been an easy 5 yards. This is it right here. You talk about a third down for your life. I'd take it to the 2-minute warning. I would not run this. I'd try and draw them off sides. Pretend like you're running a play, but don't do it. Don't jump off sides. Don't jump off sides, Kansas City.
Oh, that was close. That was Reed jumping up there. In fact, they do bring it to the 2-minute warning. Don't miss the Bud Light post-game celebration coming up after the game, featuring the trophy presentation. We're coming out of the 2-minute warning. The Chiefs have 2 timeouts left. It's a 3rd and 5 for San Francisco, and a first down would mean they would come close to be able to run this down to the very end for a Moody kick to win it.
We talk about the moments in your life you build for. This is called pressure at the highest level in sports right now. For the play caller who's thought of everything, studied, he wanted to have everything perfect, you've got to put your brain in the mind of Steve Spagnuolo and say, what's he going to do? His DNA is to come after you always in big moments. Make a play call for that.
Play of the game, a 3rd and long 4, and they blitzed, and they forced the incompletion. McDuffie comes in on him and forces that incompletion.
It never looked like pressure the whole time. At no point would you ever think it is. That's why you have to understand the DNA of that guy. I just know, however they look, Spagnuolo's not going down without bringing it, and he does there, huge by McDuffie.
Now, with the confidence has to be wavering after the missed PAT, they call on Moody for a 53-yard attempt for the lead. Moody's kick. Oh, it's good all the way.
Wow, that was incredibly clutch. Moody, who got a little exposed and had the nerves with the low kick on the extra point, comes up with the biggest kick in San Francisco. How long? 30 years?
I will know this.
That could be the kick to win the Super Bowl if their defense can hold on.
You got a lot of time left for Mahomes and company, 153.
Yeah.
But that was absolutely drilled.
What a perfect strike.
His coach at Michigan, Jim Harbaugh, used to call him Money Moody. A Michigan legend is what he called him. And he was the earliest play kicker drafted since 2016, when the Niners took him at number 99. We've had a number 199 in the draft come up pretty big.
Yeah.
Right now we got a number 99 selection, has given him the lead.
Yeah, that was a huge drive. Obviously the tip ball at the end, they had a slant play on, maybe a possibility, but I don't think it would have for sure got a first down. But right there, you give yourselves a chance. And Spagnuolo, he knows, I'm going to stop you here, you're going to create a big play, but Mahomes has to touch the ball, and he gets an opportunity.
Got a last moment bit of advice from his coordinator, Matt Nagy, a former Bears head coach who returned to Kansas City in the coordinator role, and that one was also good. Deep kick. So again, coming up the Verizon Super Bowl postgame show, our crew is standing by for their take on this game, and so much of what they're going to talk about is going to be happening here in the last 1 minute and 53 seconds.
The last guy on earth, if you're a 49er fan, you want to walk on that field right now who's playing. It's this guy right now with the Super Bowl on the line. You'd love to see anybody else. Patrick Mahomes with the ball to go win the Super Bowl.
There's Mahomes across the middle. Kelsey forges ahead. He's got 11 and a first.
You think he's comfortable in this situation?
Boy, this combo.
He's shown it.
These two, don't be surprised if they combine a couple more times down the field.
They're coming after him.
Able to escape and run toward the sideline and out of bounds at the 38.
3 is very different than 4. To Jay's point earlier, how huge that extra point was. When you have to score a touchdown under 2 minutes, your mindset is completely different. And with 2 timeouts, you've got all the time in the world. You know you've got the safety net of the field goal. You can be aggressive, but you don't have to push it. If it's not there, you can throw it away or even check it down right now.
First play was not a first down, so now Mahomes has it with that little run right there. Mark Kelsey short of it. I didn't see it that way, but here is Gray. Gray running to the 49-yard line.
And there's a ton of time, and for me right now, that's what you do until the 50-yard line. Way too easy, but not really. You're not giving up a touchdown. It's really a cat and mouse game. How aggressive. See how deep these guys are, Jim?
1st and 10 throw. Watson in the field to play, and they're trying to strip it. He holds on, and they're already basically in Butker range with a minute to go.
That's why you have all the time in the world. He knows that. The biggest thing is you can't give up these little throws. I'd be a little more aggressive. Get one guy back, but play man-to-man. No zone. Good job, man.
2nd and 2, and Mahomes off his back foot, throws it in the direction of Watson.
You're not going to beat a Brady or a Mahomes giving up soft zones. He's going to see them before you even decide to go there. You got to get up and trust your guys and hope they can handle the one-on-one matchup.
What a big call coming in from Steve Wilkes.
Oh.
Got a 3rd down.
Oh, man.
3rd and 2.
This is crazy. There's so many permutations here, Jim. Do you go for it on 4th? You got Butker. He can make it, but it's a really long kick, and it's a Super Bowl on the line.
It would be 61 from here. 3rd and 2.
Last time they did this, they ended up sending one guy inside, one outside.
They're bringing it. Dump it off. McKinnon.
What a play call.
McKinnon has the 1st down. Former 49er.
That should be a timeout, but I can't say. What a play call. It was almost like they expected them to go against themselves and pressure. Just watch. You're going to see the pressure on the outside. Well, when a guy pressures an area, Jim, you just throw it to that area he leaves. And that's what they did with the screen.
So the Chiefs have 1 timeout remaining. All Purdy and McCaffrey can do is watch. As Kansas City can either tie it and send it to overtime, or the Chiefs can win it with a touchdown.
This is, right now you know you've got a field goal, right? Where at least you expect this great kicker to make it, so you know that. So you don't put the ball in harm's way. You have a timeout, so you've got plenty of time, so you take whatever the defense gives you. But if I'm on defense, Jim, at this point, I'm not aggressive anymore. I'm actually protecting, not the end zone right now, but I am allowing you to get a 5-yard pass or a 6-yard pass and let this thing trickle down while you're at the 20 for one shot at it. But do not allow them to get a shot at the end zone or even something 20 yards downfield.
Got Kelsey in a slot to the right. They put a couple of seconds back on the clock. 40 seconds and 1 timeout for the Chiefs. Here's Mahomes. Going to take off, and only get up to about the 33. Armstead got him.
This is really tough. I would actually spike this ball right now. Spike it. This clock is ticking. You're now going to take a long time.
Pacheco late to get back to the line. He's not going to spike it. He's going to throw it away with 16 seconds.
If you spike it, you'd have had another probably 15 seconds. To me right there, at least 10. I mean, that was a huge mistake by Mahomes to run that ball up the middle without knowing for sure you were going to get at least 10 yards, because now you have 1 timeout. You're not going to allow them to get to the end zone. You're going to allow them to have a kick at it. Protect the football, Mahomes. If you get some look on the sideline on a deep out, Jim, something that has him go up and out, somebody out here, put a guy in the flat, read high, low. Boom, boom.
3rd and 7. Kelsey, who else? Taken off inside the 20, down to the 10-yard line with 9 seconds to go. And we got an injured defender.
This was on the best linebacker, one of them in the game. Watch the move, outside and in. He pretended to go in first, which made Warner feel like he's coming back out. Travis Kelce has put this team on his back with huge plays in the playoffs. None bigger than this one, and his speed. Oh, he's incredible, Jim.
Picks up 22 yards. The ball is spotted at the 11. We still have Brown down. Jair Brown is down.
You've still got a play, maybe even 2 cracks at the end zone now with the timeout. There's so many permutations here.
You clearly do not kick it now. If anybody out there is wondering, you got 9 seconds to go.
Yes, you've got one crack at it for sure. If you can get it, I would be looking for a fade quickly, a back shoulder with 4, that only takes 3 seconds, so you can do it twice. But for sure, you got one crack at the end zone. And I mean, this is the Chiefs in a nutshell this year, Jim. The Super Bowl on the line used to be the big play team, just systematic. Check it down, just take what the defense gives you. Patrick Mahomes has developed. He knows the game now. Wow, this is the moment.
Well, they're going to have a sub in for their starting safety, Brown. It'll be George Odom coming in. They've added another second here, Tony, to 10 seconds.
That's huge, honestly, because you can easily run a 3 or 4 second play, but at 9, if you get at 5, you really can't run another one. If you have 6 seconds, you feel comfortable taking another crack at it. I mean, honestly, you could spread them out and run a screen. You could literally run a quarterback draw, like some quick handoff, quick hitter, if you wanted to. They're not going to do that. They're going to throw it.
A lot of praying going on across the country. Shades of a finish with New England and Seattle. Coming down to the last plays.
Mahomes for the
low
Super Bowl.
snap. Launches end zone, incomplete.
That was smart. See how quick he got rid of it? Guess how much time he gave himself.
He only got 4 seconds out of that play.
That's tight, though. 6. If he had 7, I'd do it. I'd kick it now. Don't take your time.
They are going to bring him out with 6 seconds to go.
They tried to run the same thing they ran against Baltimore and then throw a back shoulder. Take us away, Jimmy.
Well, this is going to be 29 yards. This to send the game.
No way it ends like this, does it?
To overtime. Butker's kick is good.
Just want you to feel it for a second.
I think everybody's felt it.
He's too good. He ain't missing that one.
His 4th field goal of the game. 19-19. There's been one overtime game in the history of the Super Bowl, and Kyle Shanahan was in that game as the offensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. When the Patriots stormed back from 28-3 down, took the first possession of the overtime, went down and won it. Of course, rules have changed. Overtime rules have changed since that time.
That's true.
In the postseason.
Well, I mean, 2 huge drives by the quarterbacks on both teams to give their team, first Purdy gives his team a 3-point lead, and then Mahomes just does what Mahomes does, right? You expected that almost, which is why them getting that 3rd down could have ran the clock out.
Thought they might put it on the ground, but instead they go with the touchback.
I wouldn't want my special team. I just want to say, go ahead. You want to throw it from the 20, 25 to the end zone? Fire away.
Here was that play that they ran with 10 seconds to go.
Right there. He's going to catch that and possibly split the middle. If not, you had the timeout. But that was why Rice came to the sideline being like, hey, I could have won the Super Bowl. No, I was there. It was there. I could have won it.
I had it. Okay. How about a little overtime from Las Vegas?
Wouldn't expect any different. Purdy poised, showing you how good this Mr. Not, they called him irrelevant last pick. He's not irrelevant. Not irrelevant? No.
I think you got it. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But this will be the first postseason overtime game under the new rules, which were changed after the Chiefs beat the Bills in a divisional round back in 21. The first one in 28 games. And Gene, we might as well have you walk us through it, babe.
Yeah, we're basically starting a new game now. Each team's going to get 3 timeouts. They will also both get an opportunity to possess the football, even if the first possession is a touchdown, right? The only difference we really have right now is that 4th quarter timing, and all reviews are going to be initiated from upstairs. So there'll be no challenges right now. But in essence, a new football game.
Great job, gentlemen. We're going to play overtime. Playoff overtime, we're going to start a new game. All replays are upstairs. Everybody will have 3 timeouts. All right? Both teams will have an opportunity to score or opportunity to possess unless the first team possesses a defensive score. All right, any questions? San Francisco, you are still the visitors. What is your call?
Tails again.
He called tails again. It is tails. You want the ball. Which way do you want to kick? San Francisco will receive first in overtime. Good luck, gentlemen.
I like the way Bill Vinovich said that.
Yes.
We're going to start a new game.
Yeah.
I didn't know we signed up for 2, but we'll take it.
The intensity, that's at the highest.
Off the charts. Overtime coming up. We are back with overtime coming up at Super Bowl 58. You might be wondering, just strategically, since each team is guaranteed a possession, do you want the football first?
It's a very tough one because you always want to be like, well, I want to be able to go for it on 4th down and know what it is, right? If I have to score or get a field goal, that's an advantage. However, if my defense is very tired and I just got off the field, I might want to give them a break. Those are the 2 things that you're thinking in that moment because there's no conditions indoors that matter.
Butker will force him to start from the 25.
Thought your last drive was big?
Yeah.
He's done it in the playoffs, back-to-back games. They were down big to Detroit. He's shown he can do it. Can he do it a 3rd time?
Well, you saw it. His only other career overtime game was in this very stadium on New Year's Day a year ago.
You got to get your best players to football. If you're trying to win the Super Bowl or if you're going down, McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo's moving out, but quick screen.
Debo 5 yards off the line when they snap it. Here's Purdy's pass. Almost intercepted, was it?
Oh.
It bounced around. Bolton has it in his hands.
The Chiefs players aren't all jumping up and down.
Oh, they know it hit the ground.
They would know.
Bolton, who, of course, had a touchdown return last year in the Super Bowl against Philadelphia, coming close to making another gigantic play.
This is a that's a great throw in that spot, but it's not worth the price of the yards. And that could have ended the game right there because you know Butker's making that kick.
Oh, that was right there for the taking for Bolton.
You're going to get man-to-man, and you're going to get outside leverage, so you're going to have guys help. One safety here, another one's going to be a rat player inside. They're all going to force him here. Someone's got to figure out how to win inside and across the field.
The flag first.
False start. Office number 11. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Ayuk will take him back to a 2nd and 15.
Well, it's genius by Snead on the other side who's guarding him. He moves like he's going to, press jam him right away, and he falls for it. Snead has turned into an incredible corner.
4 false starts today for the Niners.
Watch him move. He's going to pretend like and that's what he felt.
2nd and 15. As Debo looks back for it, and they underhand toss it to McCaffrey, but Chris Jones was right there, tried to duck under him, but got only 2. Now you've got 3rd and long coming up for the 49ers.
They had a great play design on. The difference, though, is Chris Jones, they're so tired up there that he never moves out of his spot, and that allows him, and now he knows this is Chris Jones' time right here. This is hard, Jim, because I'm always like, you got to protect the ball. You got to be smart. Not here. You got Mahomes on the other side. I'm being aggressive. Buy time and fire something in with the Super Bowl on the line, Purdy.
Let's see what Spags is sending here. They got to get up to the 35 for a first. As Purdy takes it, drops back, throws, knocked down. It just came out of his hand, I think, a little awkwardly. Arm was moving forward.
Well, there's a penalty. This is on the Chiefs. I think they were holding it. It looked like no one could tell.
There's a flag down at the 38-yard line.
That's a huge difference from punting or getting a first down for the Super Bowl.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass. Prior to the pass, holding. Defense number 22. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
They got the first team all-pro corner McDuffie, and that takes the Niners out of a punting situation.
And guess who it is that got it? Jennings, who's having the game of his life, and creating that move to get McDuffie off balance is why. And that's a good call right there.
The first penalty on the Chiefs since the second quarter. And Gene, you can't quibble with that call.
No, you can't, Jim. That's a hold. Great inside release by Jennings, and he got held. Good call.
At the 27.
Run the ball, right? 3 passes there.
There it is. The toss it. McCaffrey looking and tackled down after about 3, maybe 4.
It's so hard to stay committed, especially in these big moments, to running a football, Jim, because you know if defenders want to just bring it, they can all just bring it, and they can actually make it very difficult on you. You're trying to block them, they go around you, through you, and it's effort. But you got to do it here. I don't know why. It just feels like they're just a little tired. And do something similar. Get it outside, jet sweep, something moving out wide.
There you see that compact, congested offensive front on 2nd and 7, and it's going to McCaffrey again.
I love it.
He's 3 yards short of a first.
Exactly right, though.
Tranquil, one of those in on the tackle. And by the way, Kittle's been out, and he's going in to the locker room. Big weapon to lose at this point.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I mean, that changes how I'd call it on defense. Now, in this one, it's short yardage, 3rd and 2. I'm in 4-down territory on offense. As long as I don't lose yards, I'm going for it. I'm not letting Mahomes dictate to me 100%. And Andy Reid, Kyle Shanahan, get some motion. Bring Ayuk across, fake it, and bring him back.
Charlie Warner comes in for Kittle. Lined up on the near side. 3rd and 2. As Purdy flings it. Got the first. Ayuk.
This is one of the best route runners I've told you over and over. But the motions that Kyle Shanahan is creating, the stack, he's creating my best route runner on a safety, Mike Edwards. He doesn't have to go against Snead or McDuffie. That has been such a secret to this game. Unbelievable by Kyle Shanahan to get that advantage.
3rd catch for Ayuk. 11 yards for number 11. Now they have the football at the 46. Go back to McCaffrey. He's still driving right to midfield. Evan Washburn, to you.
Jim, it's a shoulder injury for George Kittle. He remains in the locker room. Right shoulder injury for George Kittle, guys.
Again, Shanahan trying to deliver this franchise a record-tying 6 Super Bowl victory to tie Pittsburgh and New England for the most. It will be their first in 28 years. Sean Purdy watching his son. Well, he's going to close his eyes.
That's more nervous than Purdy. Yep. Brock is. It's too much almost. He's got to close his eyes.
2nd and 6. His son in trouble.
Oh, what a play.
Brings it to McCaffrey, and it gets past Edwards. High stepping and pushed out by Snead.
What a play. I know when we started this week, you heard me talk about Brock. We heard about game manager. I said, watch his spatial awareness. His ability to use leverage and to get places and get through progressions as fast as anyone in the National Football League. None bigger in his entire life than that right there, Jim.
Look who's back, Kittle. He's trying to let everybody know he wants to play.
Not much time to play the rest of this year left.
That was the longest play of the game for the 49ers, 24 yards. Back to McCaffrey. McCaffrey picking up another chunk to about the 18 with Conley throwing a big block.
I can remember all those years that Terrell Davis toss that Mike Shanahan, the dad of Kyle Shanahan, would run. Instead of just handing off the zone, it's a toss, similar type play. And Terrell Davis flows up, cuts back. McCaffrey looking just like that, and they would wear opponents down, and they would go to it late. Happening here today.
This drive's taken over 5 minutes.
And your defense has gotten rest.
Mitchell is the running back on 2nd and 2. Mitchell going to the outside with a stiff arm and got first. Got a flag down.
Offense number 9. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
One of the backup tight ends, Willis, is called for this. Kittle comes back
Yeah, I was
into
going to
the
say
huddle.
he wishes he was in the play before because
No kidding.
Willis wouldn't have been in. Would have been Werner and Kittle, and right there, that's as costly a penalty as you can have when you get a holding. And that's the guy in for Kittle.
Wow. Yeah, this penalty will force the Niners to retreat to nearly the 29-yard line. (19-19). 19 is usually a pretty winning hand here in this city, but tonight it only played
The only way you're winning is to bust and get 22.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to lay it on the line right now.
Bust to win. Trying to settle the push. 2nd and 12. Purdy had time and then had to go outside. Now throws. What a play. The Chiefs thought he didn't catch it. Juszczyk is the receiver.
Who's a fullback who gets away on the edge from Snead, by the way, who's guarding him man-to-man.
Oh, he didn't take it to the ground, Gene.
Yeah, Jim, what I'm looking at is he's going to the ground as he possesses. Now what you've got to look at is he takes 2 steps. Is the reaching for the first down considered the football move? If it is, then it's not incomplete. That's how they ruled that. And let's realize that the reviews are upstairs.
They're not even going to stop play and look at it again. 13 yards picked up on 2nd and 12, and they got a new set of downs. McCaffrey back in. McCaffrey driving. He's down to about the 8.
Wow, and staying committed to the run has been the difference here and having like one play. But let's go back to Purdy for a second, Jim. That was all Brock Purdy getting that ball. And then Juszczyk finishing it off. But Gino, you know this. Once he created the football move with the 2, then it's okay.
Exactly,
I felt like
Tom.
he had the possession. He was doing it.
And that's the way that rules got expanded over the years now.
The
That's
Des
exactly
Bryant
right.
play was semi-similar to this one. He had it even longer. Those are both catches. The Des in that one.
2nd and 4 from the 9. And McCaffrey again. Oh, this time they're waiting for him, Tony.
Yeah, huge stand-up right there by Kansas City. You had to have it as you've been getting worn down. You got to put the onus on Brock Purdy. And a 3rd down down here.
A drive that has taken 7 minutes.
So you're going to kick a field goal most likely if you don't get any yards, okay? I'm not saying that's the right thing to do yet. We'll deal with that when it comes. But this is it. 3rd and 4. Use your legs. You saw him use it earlier with that spatial awareness, but you've got to go ahead and get a motion to get your best players off of their best players. Right now, their 2 best defenders are guarding your 2 best wide receivers.
McCaffrey in motion. They fake the handoff to him. Chiefs in on Purdy so fast he had to just unload it. So the drive stalls at the Chiefs' 5-yard line, and it was Chris Jones who really broke up the play, wrecked it.
I want you to watch him. This is for the Super Bowl. Because Chris Jones comes through. Watch on the bottom. Jennings wins for the Super Bowl right down there. But there's no time because Chris Jones does it again like he did to Josh Allen in the divisional.
Got a short field goal attempt coming for Moody. And again, it doesn't win it. The Chiefs get a possession. This is 27 yards. He's made 2 from outside 50 today. This is half that distance. From 27 yards, he makes it. 22-19, Niners will kick the football to Mahomes and company when we come back to Las Vegas. So now it's Kansas City's turn, and again, just to refresh your memory on these rules, the first ever postseason game with the postseason overtime rules that have changed. They get a chance now to get the football, go down and kick a field goal. The game continues. If they're stopped, the game is over. They can win it with a touchdown. There's McCaffrey, who did a lot of work on that drive that lasted over a half a quarter, but again ended at the 5, resulting in a field goal. Moody Drives that one deep and through the back of the end zone. So here you go, Tony. Touchdown drive would win the Super Bowl. You know, they say a generation is 20 years. It's been 20 years.
20 years?
20 years.
I didn't know that.
That's a generation. It's been 20 years since the Patriots went back-to-back, and the Chiefs can accomplish that if they can go 75 yards and score a touchdown and win the game.
Well, you have the right guy to do it. The last time they did it, his name was Tom Brady. So the next guy, the opportunity, Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, first play for them goes to Pacheco for 3 yards. Again, a defensive stop or a turnover ends the game.
And this is the advantage you had talked about. Why going second helps. You get that extra down, knowing what you might have to do, right? They go for it on a 4th down if it's right here, where you wouldn't if you got the ball first.
Exactly. Second and 8. Open. It's Rice holding on to it with 2 hands smartly. He's a yard short.
Yeah, and I thought they'd done a great job. This is very similar, different, just in a subtle way to the end of the 4th quarter, but you cannot be that safe. Get up there on them.
Up ahead.
Oh! That's going to be 4th down.
Yeah, it's going to be 4th down, and it comes down to this play. Hargrave and others were there to clog the middle.
Here we go. This is for the Super Bowl. Someone's got to take a timeout. You can't just sit here and do this.
Well, you got 3 each.
Someone's taking a timeout. There's no way.
Got the length
Andy
of the football to pick it up. Keep this game going.
And he's got to call time.
It is a timeout called. Here is that previous play with Pacheco.
And they tried to get on the ball. As soon as you try and get on the ball quickly, you know on these short yardage situations that you're like, they just want to hurry up and get the 1st down. That's why everyone loads up, and Hargrave with a huge finish to this game.
You see the way he just grabbed him,
ragdoll,
threw him back. All right, well, you've worked out since July. You've run play after play, and now you got to come up with a play to pick up a foot to keep your season going.
Purdy's face. The hardest thing is when it's out of your control. You got to stand there on the sideline and trust your teammates and say, come on, guys. This is for your legacy, for your future, for everything. Please, just do it for me. And the problem is you're like, I really wish Patrick Mahomes wasn't over there. But it's 4th and 1 for the Super Bowl for the Niners. Mahomes.
McKinnon comes out, and Pacheco comes in. They're going to attack it from out of the shotgun with the game on the line.
Don't jump off sides first.
Mahomes has it. He's easily going to get the 1st.
Do you really think that you would ever, with a Super Bowl on the line, just say, Patrick, give it to somebody else? He is going to have a 2-way run. He's the running back always under a 4th down situation at the end in a pivotal game, a win or go home. Do not ever fall for the running play on a 4th down ever again.
And just in case, he had a guy that he calls a brother, Kelsey, out in front to block and clear the way. 1st down for Kansas City.
They are as special as it gets.
Another low snap. Pass complete. And that's Valdez-Scantling. Oh, man, he's going to lose yardage. Going the wrong way.
Gene, he could have kind of gone down. Am I right? At the first time he would have gotten...
Oh, yeah, most definitely,
right there,
Tony. After the 5 or 6 yard gain, if he goes down there, but once he disengages, forward progress is over now. Now he's got to create and try to get what he can get.
Yes.
And Patrick can't believe it. It's a loss of 4.
Yeah. Chris can't believe he didn't go down.
Some of the teammates saying, what are you doing?
Oh, my gosh, this puts him behind the sticks. But 5 guys back here, it's a little safe. They can get something little right away, right in front.
They take advantage of that, Tony. They saw what you saw, and they go right back to Valdez-Scantling.
That gets you in a manageable situation, but it's really not a 3rd and manageable. You're automatically in 4 down territory, so you don't need to feel it. If I'm calling it in to the quarterback, I'm telling him, hey, if you get 2 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards, take what they give you. Aggressively take what the defense gives you. Do not have to get the 1st down on this play.
Mahomes goes over 300 yards with that completion. He's got a 3rd and 6.
They come after him when they've been up in here. I expect them to drop out this time. Oh, they shouldn't have done that.
Up ahead he goes. Rice has the first down, and he's out of bounds at the 40.
I don't know why you do it. I love the idea of putting them all up in there and pretending, but why? Mahomes can feel he's played long enough now. He's going to look people off to get the leverage where he wants it, and Mahomes showing why he's so hard to beat. You had a 2nd and long, a 3rd and long. Nope, he erased that in a second.
So they erase, in fact, the 2nd and 14 in 2 plays. So they've converted a 4th and 1 and a 3rd and 7, and they keep on going. Mahomes. Oh, he thought about heaving it to the end zone. Said it's Pacheco for about 4.
Yeah, but if he would have made that throw deep, there's a good chance that would have been intercepted. And he has played so clean. Other than the one mistake today in this entire playoffs, he's gone 7 games, Jim, in the postseason without throwing an interception. I mean, it's been incredible. 7 straight postseason games, no INTs until today.
Till the one by Brown on the first drive of the 3rd quarter.
And so he's taken that right back to that approach. That was smart.
2nd and 6. Hardman's in the game at the top. He had that deep pass earlier in the game. Timeout called by San Francisco.
5 guys up there, Jim. All way back there as if you got an extra. I think Kyle didn't like it. He goes, no. No offense. This is where he's telling Steve, I don't want to go cover 0 because you feel like we got to come after him here. Give me a different play. That's why he did it. And I agree. I'm not doing that right there. It's too easy to see pre-snap.
How scary is it to be that defense and to know if you surrender these last 37 yards, it's a season ender for them and a Super Bowl title for Kansas City.
It's as big a call as you're going to get, but I can promise you this is not just Steve Wilks, who's called an incredible game. But this is a Kyle Shanahan call right with him. He called timeout. Look at to tell Steve, I want this or do this or what do you like? And Steve goes this. Okay, I love it. Let's go. Kyle's not letting this go away after a timeout without him having a major impact on this call.
2nd and 6 from the 37 of the 49ers. Set up a screen for Pacheco. Pacheco has ridden down by Warner. Boy, Warner jumped right on him. They're going to mark him about half foot short.
If this was not for Fred Warner, this might be a touchdown because this was wide open. And it's a great play call because Andy Reid was calling it for a blitz. Warner's instincts save it. Here we go. Oh, 3rd and short.
Yeah, inches short.
I don't know. That was close. I thought he might have had it right there, right?
That looks pretty good right there.
That's why I thought it was the first.
3rd and a football.
Yeah, not a big deal now unless you don't get it.
Go up top. Mahomes cradles it and goes down to the 13-yard line.
You can cut the tension with a knife everywhere. There's both sides of the ball, but I can tell you right now, watch Mahomes. He looks left, looks right, and the rhythm of that, it's so hard because you're not spying on him because he just sprinkles it in from time. But he knows how to win the game. He knows when to be aggressive, when not to be. He's made one mistake in the entire playoffs. That was today. He won't do that again.
He's got 3 tight ends on 1st and 10 from the 13. It's Pacheco. Down to the 10. Niners have to guard these last 10 yards with their life. Steve Wilks, who's called such a great game defensively, having to go against Mahomes, the most unenviable task when Mahomes knows what he must do. 2nd and 7. 10 yards from the win. Mahomes throws it to Kelsey in the middle of the field. Kelsey plowing ahead. Kelsey still on his feet, and I believe he's going to have the 1st and goal to go. Boy, there's a lot of traffic around that football.
I mean, this is an Andy Reid drive special. And the reason for everyone at home why you're not taking a timeout, just so everyone knows, is because it's just the first quarter in overtime. That's how you have to think of it, okay? The reason they're not taking or not, because we don't just say at 0, we end the game. It's the end of the first quarter, and you move to the second quarter. That's why, because I can only feel the number of people out there being like, what's going on?
First and goal. Mahomes flings it. It's there! Hardman! Jackpot! Kansas City!
And this was the Andy Reid special. This was the Andy Reid special we talked about. He was saving all day. He's going to fake a motion to go across. And at that moment, he turns and goes back. Hardman, who they didn't have, right? And they go get Hardman and bring him back. And the game-winning drive of Mahomes' career, he's been waiting for. He's won Super Bowls, but he's never had it in an overtime. He is the best. He is the standard. Your Michael Jordan wins it again.
Andy wants to save his remarks for the victory platform. The 7th longest game in the history of the NFL was one of the most memorable ones as well. And the Chiefs, you're going to hear a lot about it. You might as well say it right now. They have their dynasty.
Yes, they absolutely do.
Tracy, down to you.
Patrick, back-to-back Super Bowls for the first time in 20 years, 3 in 5 years. I can see it with your celebration. How meaningful is this one to you?
It means a ton. Just the adversity we dealt with this year, and to come through, the guys never faltered.